I'm being there's some besmirchment occurring here, Trev. You
What?
you you mean to tell me all this time I was spending time with the undiagnosed neurodivergent. As a diagnosed neurodivergent, I demand. Hello, everybody. My name is Molly. I am one of your. Well, I don't know. I'm just one of the people you constantly see on this channel. I'm usually a GM. I use she/her pronouns. I want to give, and we are here today with a really cool, like breaking, like cutting edge playtest. Um, as opposed to what most cutting edges, when people hear my voice, is mostly going for the ears. I want to kick it over to Trev to introduce themselves, and then we will go over to our GM Jackie, the creatrix herself.
Hi. You may have seen me before. I'm Trev. I've been on All on the Table a couple times now, and you're not getting rid of me that easy. I use they them pronouns, and we'll kick it over to Jackie.
Hi, I am Jackie. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the creator of Crucible of Aether, this crazy mystic industrial simulationist RPG that we're going to have a wonderful adventure in today.
Wicked, and congratulations on your public playtest. We're so
Yeah,
excited to be a
woo!
part of it.
Absolutely. And also, just to point out, while we're playing, if any audience members are interested in playtesting the game along with us, we have a Discord server that I know Molly will so graciously post in the chat. The invite, it is open to anybody that is interested. So yeah, if as
So
soon as you
wait,
mhm.
so like the dog days for your mother, for your brother. Could Florence Henderson join if she needed to? From
I'll let you
Florence
just.
and the Machines? I assume it's her.
I assume so.
I don't think
So
it is. I
I
think
no,
isn't
I
Florence
was doing so
Henderson
much
like a
math.
Brady Bunch?
I was doing so much math in my head, being like, okay, what is her politics?
What are
uh,
what are Molly's politics? Chaos, leftist chaos. We're getting into things are about to get ill on this grift, from what I understand.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So I'm
So
gonna
yeah.
be playing a character. It's really cool. Um, their name is Rim.
Rim.
And Rim has kind of been an outsider for most of their time, and instead of like trying to like learn normal skills, they've decided to start hacking off parts of their body and replacing it with mechanized stuff. And so they have an augmented arm and an augmented leg, and their brown hair that hangs just a little bit, just about to mid back, is tied into a tight back bun, and you see like motor grease kind of trickles down their face.
Oh, we love to see it. And as a little explanation for the audience, Molly is playing specifically a Black River
Oh,
warrior.
you're cutting in and out, Gorge. Let me see what's going
It's
on. Trav, can you hear me?
I
industrial,
can hear
so
you.
it
Yep.
is
Okay.
not your original high.
Something's going on
There's
with
sort
Jackie's
of
internet.
these
Oh.
And they're gone. All right. So, have you thought of a? So, could you tell us a little bit about your character, Trev? What do you got going on?
Yeah. So, my character is Fierna. Um,
Fear not.
Fierna or
Okay.
Ferna.
Fair
Um,
enough. Fair
playing
enough.
fair enough. Playing as a
cool.
wolf daughter. Very lupine like features. In
Oh, oh,
very clean, staunch, clean robes. Um, Jackie, you're back.
Welcome back, Jackie.
hi.
Welcome
Uh,
back,
wh-
Jackie.
where is Trev?
Oh,
Trev is here.
I'm here. Can you not see
I do
me?
not see.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear?
I would say, can you hear me?
that's probably a no.
Nope.
This is of course what would happen on a first stream with a new GM. Any luck? Can you see them now?
I don't see them back yet, or see her back yet.
Okay. So Farna, I don't know how the heck Rim and Farna would have gotten, met Farna one day because we got sent off to this island. We took a job flyer. I think
Yeah,
Rim is sort of doing it like, yeah, okay, I'll take the free trip to somewhere different, but I'm not going to do any of that. Um, you'd be lucky if I'm not actively a pain in the ass.
I think Ferna being is just there to make sure that Rim, you said, or yeah,
Rim,
Rim would not get themselves killed. That is all that she is there to do.
she's just not trying to get me killed. All
Yeah.
right, let me see. I got to get Jackie back in the frame and we will get up and going. 1 second, Gorge. Hmm. You know, uh, you know, uh, it just Scooby Dooby Dooby, what a doobie. First time streaming. All right, let's get off. So we talked about our characters' motivations. Farna is just trying to keep Rim alive,
Fair
while Rim is kind of sarcastically taking this work for the Empire.
Yes, this makes perfect sense. And as a little bit of an explanation in the audience, before we get started, and
All right. So we are going to go on break, and hopefully we will be able to figure out what's going on with Jackie's internet. Once we are, I will post in chat. Please make sure that you're responding to us in chat. Once we figure this out, we will start talking and figure out
okay,
what's
cool,
going on.
cool.
Are you back?
Okay, yeah, I think I'm back.
Okay.
Okay, I apologize for the technical difficulties. Um,
It's life.
yeah, that's how it is.
Just
If
streamer
I
things, right?
yeah, if I cut out again, maybe I'll do voice only, and we'll see what happens. Um, so anyway, can I continue?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So as an explanation to the audience, we are going to be running Ilgriff, a little bit of the base explanation, the Crucible of Aether one shot that we're going to be running. Its sort of tagline here is an island filled with salty sea air, swamps, and secrets, where imperial avarice has combined with desperation without care for whom might be crushed along the way. Authorities of the Valthurian-led Odean Empire, the Valthurians being an avian people, stretched thin, hunting down smugglers, have hired the party as mercenaries to assist at one of their island supply bases. There, the party finds more than they bargained for in a mess of greed, privation, and desperation. So, Trev, can you remind me, since we were in the midst of technical difficulties, what your character's name is again?
Fair enough.
Fairna. Okay, thank you so much. And also, I didn't really get to do an in-lore character explanation for what's going on there, but Fairna is a wolf mother, a Lupani priestess of the cult of Lupin, the mother goddess, the healing goddess, and is sort of a canine sort of wolf person. If it wasn't obvious for the amount of times that I said Lupin. Now, yeah. Are we ready to
Well,
get going?
they could also be just like someone who's really into like solo electric sets, and they just have those pedals that keep the music going around and around.
we
Won't you miss me, Trev? You're gonna be streaming. Did you know that Trev is gonna be running a campaign after this for 8 whole weeks at least?
It's true.
And it's gonna be without me. You're gonna miss this beautiful shining personality.
You'll be there in spirit, though.
Oh,
I will.
You'll be
All right.
sitting on my shoulder, letting me know that you will always be there.
Yes. So sorry.
So we are going to get started. All right. Okay, got my dice. Here we go. Dawn has just touched the sea of songs, the ocean ringed by the various nations of the Odean Empire. The gray-green waves of this late spring day are calm, a welcome sight after last night's storm. Most ships in these waters are broad-bottomed Chianosan vessels, for this is the coast of Busos, the nation of the Nictriu. The Nictriu vessels flit amongst the swamps and wetlands, but do not dare the open waters where they have been barred. For there is a foreign ship full of watchful eyes plying the waves this morning, a two-masted schooner that sits deep in the waters and makes its way towards the coastal island of Ilgrif. It is a Valthurian-made ship, modern and terrifying for both its armament and what it stands for. The long reach of the Valthurian imperial power grasping tighter onto even the most obscure of places. The ship is the Sea Crow, a vessel owned by a Vatir clan, the Sanhet. In the way that commerce and empire reach everywhere in these modern times, it has reached this tiny island through you two. Smugglers have used these swamps and islands off the coast of the Nictriu homeland of Busos to dodge all manner of government authority for the past 2 centuries. That didn't change much when the Empire took over Busos. Imperial authorities have spent the last 20 years making little progress in stopping them. Frustrated with the state of affairs, Empress Loretta Pendry V hired the Sanhet clan to catch pirates and collect tariffs for her 2 years ago. The island you are heading to, Ilgrif, is one of a half dozen supply depots supporting the clan's broader operations along the coast of Busos. The Sanhet have been spread thin chasing smugglers and pirates through the swamps and recently enacted a blockade of the Busos coast. Clan warriors and sailors are busy keeping the coast locked down and cannot handle security on the island like Ilgrif. Isra Sanhet, who runs the operation on Ilgrif, wants more hands on deck, as it were, to help the Sanhet keep their operations running. You all carry letters of hire, having had taken this job, whether it be for uh, uh, your own sort of personal want, like you said, to sort of take this job sort of sarcastically, just for the money, just for the adventure, or for some kind of way to secretly undermine the empire, or whatever such motivation. You all carry letters that say the following. The bearer of this letter may present themselves to clan bearer Isra Sanhat at the port of Uvgorod on the Isle of Ilgrith. By the grace of Her Imperial Majesty, Empress Loretta Pendry V, Clan Sanhat has been granted charter to collect tax and tariff in trade along the coast of Busos. Under authority of the Crown, you shall obey Clan Bearer Isra Sanhat's directives in all and sundry tasks she shall set before you. In furtherance of these duties, you shall be provided with quarters, board, and a stipend of 10 pen per week. Now, looking down at your letters, of course, you are reminded why you are here. And I want you to remind the audience real quick. Why did you take this job? We'll start with Rim.
Rim is not a fan of things that they were sort of that are thrust upon them. And so this whole system that is going on is just nothing that they're into. So they're trying to create new ways to make themselves exist outside or without the system as it is. So they're looking for new technologies to improve their corporeal form. They're looking for ways to make the smugglers' lives easier. Um, and anything that they can do to, make things harder on the enforcement arm.
This makes perfect sense. And of course, signing up, they saw you as a Black River warrior, a noble knight that is associated with a sort of a long history of working at times with the Empire and didn't think any of it. They saw they did not question your personal motivations when you said, "Well, of course I'm signing up for the Empire." And what about you, Verna?
Verna, long ago, made a compact with uh, their friend Rim that they would protect them at all costs, keeping them alive in the most dire of situations. And so it's really twofold for Ferna. One is to, of course, go with their adventuring friend and see, what they get themselves into, and maybe try to keep them out of some trouble in a way. And two, Ferna is an astute being, wanting to experience the world for themselves and wanting to see what the Empire's, the far reaching implications of the Empire's possible arm or corruption that may be taking place.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there is a complicated history between the Empire and the Lupani. The Lupani, of course, used to sort of have an empire themselves many moons ago. But of course, you being a healer and someone of the cloth, they did not question, of course, your motivation. Of course, you came along with a Black River warrior, one, of course, that they also did not question their motivations. You were the perfect people to take this job, not just the perfect people to get the job so that the Empire would do it unquestioningly, but it sounds like you two are the perfect people to do actual good on this island, something the Empire did not expect. Now, it's work, a rare enough thing to find these days, but the pay is low and the duties are vague. You could be stocking a warehouse or fighting pirates for all you know. The locals aren't exactly friendly to the Imperial presence either. The Nictri who've lived here for generations do not take to interlopers kindly and have spent years closely guarding the island's secrets. The Sea Crow, the ship carrying you all, has been at sea for a week now and will set anchor this morning. But for the moment, you are all playing a game of cards. You can all feel the ship has stopped the slow, tilting rolls of the open waters of the Sea of Songs. Even through the hull of the boat, you hear gulls calling. You are close to the port and the task you have been contracted for. This will be your last hand of cards before you must go. So, like I said, intro done. uh, uh, you are all sort of playing a game of cards uh, pass the time as you are approaching here. And since the ship is pulling into dock, I will ask you one thing, which is one, what did each of your characters bet on this hand of cards? Now it can be money. It can be penned, which you'll find on the third page of your character sheet or edge or anything like that. But it can be other things. Maybe you bet, hey, if I win this hand of cards, you have to, introduce me with an elaborate title, or I will do one thing that you absolutely tell me to do during this adventure. So we'll start with Trev. What did Fairna bet on this hand of cards?
Is it just Rim and Ferna playing, or are there other folks playing this hand of
It
cards?
it is just you two. Two, it's what it sounds like, long time friends passing the time before you start your job.
Okay. Um, I think Ferna would bet in trying to see what Rim can come up with just that a if Ferna loses this hand, uh she will be obligated to do one thing to the letter that Rim ask of them at an
Uh,
undisclosed time.
um, and so now that we have Rim put on the table the ability for Ferna to get three cold cock slaps out of nowhere versus that compelled random action. So that's
Perfect.
what's on the table.
Wonderful. So, what I'm going to both have you do is roll a D100, and whoever rolls the lowest will win this hand.
Oh
Something to
boy.
point out to your audience while you're both rolling is that this game is a D100 system in which rolling low is very good. Rolling one is the best thing you can get. 100 is the worst. So, starting with Fairno, what did you roll?
Ferna rolled a 26.
Ooh, and Rim, what did you get?
Ooh! Can I like all right, as like the cards are going through, um that you hear like a little whirring in as Fairness cars go down. you see a little whirring in the mechanical arm of Rim, and they try to kick up like another like a lower card that from like their arm.
Ooh, okay. I really like that. Can you give me a pickpocketing check +10?
Okay, and because I'm using the augment arm, do I roll augment or still pickpocketing?
It's still pickpocketing. You only have a
Okay,
utility to do at that for athletics.
gotcha. Cool. So here we go. So it's +10. So I need to beat a 34. Need to get lower than. And I got an 86.
So,
Ooh.
okay. Uh, what you immediately notice, uh, Fairna, is you can just see sort of the look on Rim's face as a friend that you've known for so long is anxious about losing, whether it be jokingly anxious or deep anxiety. I do not speak for your friendship, but you notice this, and you just see this attempt at a very strong, clearly very bulkily mechanical warrior attempting to like pull that card out, and it's so obvious.
Uh,
It's the wrong color. It's
yeah,
like we're playing with a blue deck and she pulls out a red card.
oh,
Uno
Fairna
reverse.
just raises an eyebrow and just subtlety was never your strong suit, huh?
No. And Fairna and Rim slams down a 27. Damn it.
Did
And
Fairna beat you by 1 point?
By 1 point.
Oh, I
oh
love
my
it.
gosh, yes, we love to see it. So you have won, Fairna. You have those which you can cash in at any
Three
time.
slaps.
Anyway, you can, as you finish up your hand, you see a large number of sort of dock workers approach the ship. And to read this out loud here, the ship docks at the town of Uvgorod, and the dock workers begin the bustle of unloading cargo and taking provisions. Uvgorod is the staging ground for Clan Sandhat, providing supplies for its ships and coordinating movements across 600 miles of Busos. You all walk out of the ship. The first thing I need you to do is I need you to all give me a perception check +30. And for those, specifically for you, Fairna, but also for the audience at home, this will involve scent. Fairna is a Keanosan. Lupani are a Keanosan, and they have an acute sense of smell. So there is a bonus that will specifically apply to Fairna for this. And also for those at home, um, Rim is a Valthurian, sort of an avian person. Anyway, continuing.
Having hung out with Trev, I do have to say they do have a cute smell. Um,
Well, okay. If you say so.
Ma'am.
ma'am.
All right,
I got
so
a 20.
plus 30,
Nice.
correct? Right? To
Yeah,
our
plus
target
30.
score? Okay, so
And I believe you'll be getting an additional +10
I will
from
be getting
yours.
for my Lupin's Hunter ability. So that
Yes.
puts me at a 68 that I need to get to.
Lupin Hunter.
So I got a
Lupin Hunter.
35.
Nice. Okay, was that what you? Cool.
Yeah.
So both of you succeeded. Already on it. Already you can tell that long-term friendship situation. You both get 4 XP in perception. Something to point out to the audience at home is that as both of the adventurers will be succeeding skills, they'll be getting XP in them and leveling them up individually, and shaping their character as they go. So because you both succeeded, uh, you see more than a dozen workers crawling all over the ship, unloading cargo from the hold inside. Almost all of the workers are Valthurian, marked by their feathered crests and clawed feet. Specifically, because you all succeeded. What you notice, what you immediately notice, is even amongst the hustle and bustle, you can see longshoremen following the direction of a Vatir, a raven person, in armor in the regalia of Clan Sandhat at the end of the dock. She stands tall with a light complexion and a patch over her eye, partially obscuring the scar that runs from her forehead to the bottom of her jaw. At the Vatir's elbow is an Usrian, a mantis person. They are sporting a suit of shimmering scales under priestly robes and covering their visage with a jewel encrusted metal mask, the uniform of a Nozra Wenyer, an undead cleric lord. From a distance, you can see the Vatir is acting respectfully in the discussion with the Wenyer, but is largely ignoring her. The Vatir continues to interrupt the Wenyer to shout orders to workers unloading the sea crow. And Fairna, you notice something extra special because with that kind of sense of smell. On the other side of the dock, largely hidden from view, is a large Nictriu hawking fish from a boat. This is mostly notable from the smell. The fish appear to be rotting, and the fisherman is having little luck hawking his wares. What do you do?
Remind me, the Nictriu are the crow folk or the avian
The
folk?
Nictriu are a Tanuki people, and
Oh,
the sort of
Tanuki.
yeah, they are the kind of local population here. This is a Nictriu island.
Right. Okay. Um, I think Farina clocks the Nictriu trying to hawk his wares and just makes a mental note of it for the moment, but goes about looking for our contact, I think, at this point.
Yes, which is of course Isra Sanhat, the Vatir woman that you saw. Rim, do you follow suit, or would you like to do something special or different?
Just kind of like as a as like one of the Nictriu move by me, I kind of want to say to one of them, that's a you know that let's see, not particularly charismatic. That's a loud bird over there. What's their problem?
One of them kind of looks at you, and they eye you slightly suspiciously, being of course, you come in fully armed and things like that, but they look a little exasperated, and they go, "Oh, tell me about it. Ever since the clan came to the island, things have just gotten so bad. Plus, there's that damn blockade that she put up. You're not with her, are you?" The Nictriu says, technically at a normal speaking voice, but there's such enough hustle and bustle that it is hidden by sort of the cacophony of what's going on.
Um, I, I'm here for myself, and for my partner, but what happened to her eye?
She lost it in a fight with smugglers, from what I heard, but don't make it sound like her cause is just. That happened way before she showed up to this island. She's mostly been using it as a personal vendetta, seeing smugglers in every shadow. The
And,
Nictriu looks
and
up over it. Oh, yes, you go.
no, and what about the bug? Who's
Oh,
that?
and goes, smiles for smiles for a second, and goes, "Oh, him?" And goes, "That's Sefet. They're well, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure why they're here, but." And the Nictriu points over, sort of next to Sefet. There was a small Nictriu child that seems to be very, very worried, and goes, "I think it has to do with him."
Great. Hey, thank you for your help, and they will like very clearly palm them a pen. Like the big whirring mechanical arm will and will like a pen will be handed to this person.
They notice that you gave them an entire pen, and they just glow, and they are so excited that you did this, and they go, "Oh my gosh, I can finally feed my family. You are so generous. I will tell everyone I know about this. And Rim, you will be getting bonuses to the next time you interact with any sort of Nick for You locals, and they run off in joy.
Great. So then I follow Ferna.
Okay. You follow Ferna to Isra, who immediately is just yelling at local dock workers, being like, "Don't put that. No, don't take any of the boxes off of that ship," and they're pointing to your ship, and going, "And don't put them in the warehouse. The warehouse is still under investigation, and we need to know what happened before we let anything else in there. We need to be having inventory taken." And who are you?
Ferna produces the for hire paperwork and just says, "It seems your newest hires."
Oh, thank the night that you're here. Listen, we have
You're
we have a
welcome.
situation.
Just from behind, you're welcome.
Oh, I'm the black. I'm a Black Knight. I thought you were saying thank you.
Oh, right.
And she smiles and she goes, I love your sense of humor. I but and then you can clearly see that she's getting a little bit anxious, and she goes, "But this is no time for that. The warehouse has been broken into by smugglers, and they made off with who knows what, and I I thought this blockade would work, but look, I'm glad that you're here. I need you to investigate the warehouse. I need you to stop these smugglers, and I need you to finally clean up this damn island. And I need you to do it by tonight because we are losing money, and we are losing money fast."
Okay. So, you see, like very clear, like writing block letters on a small in a notebook. Rim writes smugglers, warehouse, who knows what. And then Rim will turn to them and said, "Who knows? Who knows what was stolen? What would have been stolen?"
Oh, probably some valuable. I mean, I have no look. I haven't been in there. All right, I closed it off as soon as I heard about it. Uh, there were some clerks over by the warehouse that reported it to me, and I've told them they're not allowed to be inside until we can get, well, my hired hands to be there, and that's you two. And you can clearly see by the way that she's acting, she's exasperated and angry and just trying to be in command at any moment that she can be, but she has no idea what's
What are her honorifics again? Just remind me. Like her
going on.
title.
So she is the clan bearer. She is
Land
the sort of
bearer. Okay.
local authority of the Vatir clan that is here. Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. Just clan bearer Isra. It seems rather just the two of us to clean up the island by tonight is a very daunting task. Uh, Not something so easily done in a day.
She gives you a look. Are you trying to accomplish something out of this? Just to double check, or are you just kind of pointing out a fact?
I think trying to point out a fact, but in a way also kind of underhandedly saying like your house is not in order, and kind of trying to subtly point that out to her.
Got it. I will let you decide on this one here, but you can either give me a diplomacy check plus 20 or a deception check plus 20, depending on how deceitful and sort of underhanded you're trying to be.
Um, let's go with diplomacy.
Okay.
So that's gonna put me at a 52, with my diplomacy being 32. Adding that 20 because I don't have any extra things. Ooh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That'll be 74 on the die.
Oh no, oh no. She gives you an angry look. She's scowling at you with her one eye, and she goes, "You know what's a lot to handle? Trying to run this entire damn island by myself." And Listen, you two seem incredibly capable. I'm sure you can handle it.
What you need friends on this island is what you need. What do you have to give people who want to be your friend?
um, are you in this case then? Assuming that you're trying to get some extra money
Nope.
out of her, or oh,
Nope. I am trying to figure out if she wants control over the island. Um, Other than by yelling at people, what actual resources does she have? Like, if we're going to negotiate something for her, what does she actually bring to the table?
got it. Can you give me a business check or a diplomacy check plus 30?
Business.
It's all business in this department.
31, 31. So I pass.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
that's totally gonna get it. You're gonna get 6 XP in business. Um, so
Business.
as you speak, even before she has a response to respond to you, because you know she is going to respond to you with absolute nonsense. You can tell by the moment that you say this line that things are pretty bad here. You on your letter were given the amount of money you would make. You would make 10 pen for this. The clans are supposed to be an incredibly sort of wealthy sect of society. She is running low on resources. This is why she is asking you to do this in a day. She is desperate. She then responds to you and she goes, I have already made on the contract how much we would pay you, and I need this to get it done. And I need it to be done tonight, she says.
Well, with we'll see what we can recover of whatever is missing. Do you have any? No, you probably don't have any. I appreciate you so much, and I hope that the longshoremen are very kind to you today. Um, and she kind of turns to the bug person and says, "Hello, how are you?"
And the 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 Wenyer then looks at you very, very quietly. Meanwhile, as you kind of clearly kind of end the conversation with Isra, she marches off to go just give orders to other people. Um, she is just trying to always be in charge. The Wenyer looks at you, sort of all in this kind of tight, shimmering scales with a small, very upset looking Nictaryu child and goes, Hi, uh, my name is Safet. I. She's some piece of work, isn't she?
An impossible job and an impossible personality. What a combination.
In my experience, yelling doesn't always solve anything.
It tends to solve nothing, and to be honest, and the Wenyer looks down at the small Nictaryu child and goes, and there are bigger problems to be solved than some theft of unknown items. This island is in a lot of trouble. In trouble partially because of, well, mismanagement, we'll call it. But also, I think that there's something more dangerous at work here. Lucian and the undead sort of looks down at the child once more and goes, "Do you want to tell these nice folk what happened to you?" And the child walks up to you and goes. The child seems kind of scared and is sort of hiding behind sort of the leg of the Wenyer. This Nictaryu child with their sort of tufted ears kind of drooped down. They're wearing sort of a shirt that is, um, a little too big for them, and they are really just trying not to make eye contact with anybody. And they seem like they are not going to tell you uh, uh, whatever sort of traumatic thing has happened until you seem to be safe people to talk to.
Um, Maybe I will. Is there what is there around me, or would I carry like a little bit of scrap and like gizmo on me? Would I have like a little bit?
You might have a little bit of scrap metal. I wouldn't say you have a full sort of device, but you're also kind of on sort of your standard port. What exactly are you looking for specifically?
So I'm looking to make like how you have those little like wire things where you wind it up and you set it down and it goes
Oh yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah.
so like a
Um,
turnkey toy, and I just want to make like a very small little like maybe just like a little figure out of wire to give to the girl, the
okay.
small person.
Yeah. Lucian uses he/him pronouns. The So as you're walking, as you're kind of talking to this child, you notice this one dock worker taking a box off of your boat that had some scrap in it, and you can just pluck it. Can you give me an engineering check plus 20 or plus 30 actually?
Hey, that'll do it. Just under 66. Just
Cool.
under
4x
67.
4 XP in engineering, and you make a little wind-up toy for Lucian. It actually it looks like the most paper doll-esque in terms of like what the most basic silhouette of what seems to be uh, the clan bearer in an almost parody and insulting way to sort of calm the child down. This little like yelly Isra that you've made that just kind of wobbles around as a little toy.
Cool.
Um,
Would you mind telling us what happened, or if I'm too scary, my friend here is very caring and calm.
um, the child smiles at you as you give him the toy and is mostly still focusing on the toy, but gives you like a little like, oh, this sounds really nice, but also looks over at Fairna to sort of see what you are trying to, since you directed attention to Fairna, Lucian is sort of looking over in their direction.
I think at the moment Fairna is kind of standing, arms kind of gently like clasped together and kind of like looking down at the child, just kind of trying to perceive them and their state essentially.
Got, got it. Can you actually give me, I'm gonna do both things here. Can you give me an investigation check plus
Sure.
30?
Plus 30. That's going to put me at 63. So that's a 27. So I passed that.
Nice. So you're taking 4 in investigation. You have. So you're gonna kind of. I'm gonna point out some things about the child as the child is talking to Rim, based off of your success here.
Sure.
So Lucian looks over at you. You clearly are fair enough. Have separated yourself a little bit from the conversation, and Rim looks at you and goes, you know, I you're really nice. Thank you for the toy. Um, Sorry, I've just been really well. You see, my parents went missing last night. They 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 tucked me into bed during the storm because I'm scared of I'm scared of the thunder, and they I woke up in the middle of the night and they were missing. And so I cried and I cried and I hope that they would be nearby, but they weren't. And the child looks over at the Nictrio that you noticed, the fishmonger, and goes, and it was thanks to Remy over there that Remy actually took me here to get some help. Um, and oh gosh, I'm not so good with my words at the moment. I'm just so upset. But please, I don't know what happened to my parents, but uh, they're missing, and oh gosh, I just I just really want to find them. And that scary bird lady won't listen to us. She's so focused on whatever sort of nonsense happened at the warehouse. I'm oh gosh, please, maybe you can find my parents.
Well, we can. We'll take. Well, look. Um, Sure, why not? The people and the Rim will turn to the. I'm sorry, the bug person, the mantis.
Mhm.
What was the name?
Safet?
Safet. Will turn to her Sapphic friend and will say, um, softball, how about it? We'll say, when people disappear here, who usually makes them disappear?
Safet looks at you very, very almost like letting down their guard a little bit and goes, when people disappear here, people haven't really been disappearing here. It's a relatively small island, although I've noticed that, and Safet looks over at Isra, who's back farther in the dock now, and goes, Isra is becoming more and more desperate to. I don't know if it's to relinquish responsibility over this island or to do something a little bit more, well, unhinged, but I'm concerned that some of her policies, anti-smuggler policies, might be getting a little bit more, what's the word? Cruel?
Would it be known if there are those being punished for their connection to said smugglers?
There is there is a jail here, but it is currently empty. I know because I admittedly checked there first. I have distrust of this, but I am worried that something, let's just say I'm worried that Lucian's parents here didn't just get lost in the storm last night.
Okay. Um, as we're sort of watching the comings and goings on the dock, it's clear this person, this bird, is making the most noise.
Mhm.
Um, where do people, and ever she's being ignored, when somebody actually needs something to do, who are they actually looking at?
When somebody like actually is looking for orders,
Yeah,
they are. Can you give me a perception check plus 20?
sure.
I think while this is also happening, while Rim is focusing on that, can Ferna be making a perception check, but to look if anyone is noticed, like paying a little bit more attention to us than maybe they should?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
You can. And Rim, did you succeed at that?
Is 0, 0, 100 or 0, 0, 5?
100, unfortunately.
So yeah, so I got 105. Wait, wouldn't 100 be 0, 0, 0?
Wait, did you say 001?
No, it'd be 0, 0, 5.
Oh, then you got a 5.
Yeah, I got a
No.
5.
Oh, you did amazing. Yeah, all zeros is 100, but yeah, you got a 5. So you're gonna succeed, and you're gonna take forward perception, and then um, if I didn't give it to you already, fair enough, it's a plus 20 perception check,
Okay.
and I will tell you, I will go in the order of that.
So that is a 67, which would be a failure for me.
Okay. So unfortunately, you don't notice anybody in particular pointing you out. And what you notice is that they are actually listening to Isra. I mean, she does command some kind of authority here. So, um, it's not like there is someone in second in command that's doing stuff. It is entirely just they are listening to her. The only person who is being ignored is that Safet, when asking to investigate the missing the child's missing parents. That is being fallen on deaf ears. Isra is so focused on um, Isra is so focused on just kind of commanding the her own businesses.
Okay. Um, in this world, is there vice? Is there like, do people go and drink
Yeah.
after work? Is that something that we would know?
It is, yeah. I mean, that is something that definitely can happen. You did not spot a local tavern here, though.
On the dock.
Yeah.
Does one exist?
You're not sure.
Okay. If I ask Sapphic, do they
Um,
know?
Sephet looks and goes, things have been kind of tough around here. There's very few people that actually live here on this part of the island permanently. Um, uh, Most other people live on the opposite end of the island, the Nictriu village. This is Uvgarad. That village across the island is Repo de Marais. That is where Lucian lives. There is more to do there in terms of drinking or things like that, but here, this is mostly just a port for the comings and goings of goods.
Things come in from the rest of the island here, and then they go out.
Hmm.
Cool. Thank you.
Of course.
And so Rim will turn to Ferna and sort of like kind of like walk her away from the kind of the mass
Hmm.
and say, all right, well, they don't know what was taken, so we could just come back with a handful of paper clips and say, here we found the thing. So that strikes me as pretty straightforward. Um, this thing with the stolen parents, and that seems more juicy. What are your thoughts?
Well, it is unfortunate for a child to be separated from their parents. And it concerns me that the local authority does not want to help in that regard. So I would be curious on following that lead down. However, do we know? And you see Ferna kind of ponder for a second, just thinking over, is this a case of Isra not wanting to tell her people what was taken, or does she genuinely not know what was taken? Is
As
there
we
something
think
hidden in this warehouse?
as we think back on that conversation, did she seem shifty when she was saying like when she was talking about she doesn't know what was taken?
Can you both give me an investigation check plus 20?
Sure.
Anyway, it could be business. No, okay.
That's gonna be a
I will allow it to be
Ooh.
business if you'd like.
Oh no, it's no. No.
Cool.
All right. Let's.
57.
That's an 87. That's a big old failure on my
Okay, and
end.
what about what about you, Rim?
Yeah, did not pass.
Okay, you're thinking back, and honestly, there was so much bluster with Isra that you're honestly unsure. You're unsure.
Okay. All right. So wants us to clean up the island. Maybe we should poke around the warehouse, see what happened.
I think it is as good as any place to start. But real quick, that Remy over there, I wanted to talk to them, pointing to the that Tanuki who was seemed a little bit down on his luck with trying to sell this rotted food that
Sure.
Fairness spotted earlier.
Can I get like a vantage point somewhere? Is there a way to like get up and to see like if anyone is like eyeing eyeing them? as they walk
Yeah.
around? Okay.
As Farina walks around, or
As Farina
as
walks around, yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Can you so you can return to the boat and go up to the crow's nest, and you can look from there.
Okay.
And you can give me a perception check plus 30, and then I will move over to Farina and sort of interact with that.
Okay.
I have unwittingly rolled a floor die. It was perception plus 30. That is a 60. No, wait, it's under physical. Physical, no, yes, 62. I rolled a 57. Heck yeah.
Nice. All right, you're gonna get 4 XP in perception, and I will come back to you what you see as we
Okay,
move on. But you are definitely can feel very confident in what you spot.
great.
So Farina, I assume you're approaching Remy.
Yeah, so I think Farina, just in kind of approaching Remy with this kind of gentle poise and kind of just gently walking up to this fishmonger, if you will, and kind of peeking over, because he was kind of secluded, right? Like not
Mm-hmm.
in, yeah, and kind of peeking over, doing that, like, because I like to imagine that Farina is kind of tall, so kind of doing that half tilt, peeking over and looking at Remy and just putting a finger out and saying, excuse me, you're Remy, correct? Is everything okay? You seem a little bit downtrodden.
Is everything okay? Is everything okay? My fish are rotten. My pockets are empty. My belly is shriveling up. And my only form of actual business is currently being stepped on by the Empire. So, no, I'm not doing okay. You
What do you
wouldn't happen to
mean
want.
by what has the Empire done to your business?
Well, that points kind of points not even points, just kind of scowls over at the far kind of distance of Isra, and just goes, I am but a simple fishmonger. I make my money, I fish, I sell them to those who are looking for provisions for their next trip out. I, like many of the people on this island, get my fish from deeper waters. But Isra's, well, to be honest, foolish, foolish blockade has prevented us from fishing where there's, well, actual fish. And something that, Rim, you immediately notice. So, one, you're looking around to see is anybody looking over at them. And you see that occasionally Isra will look over at Remy. Isra is way too far away to hear anything that Remy is saying, but Isra is constantly kind of like looking over and kind of looking over at Remy and kind of also looking around clearly for you two to kind of do your job. Um, but the other thing that you weirdly notice is during this conversation, Remy keeps trying to like scratch his hand in a weird way that's like he's scratching his left hand in a way that he keeps moving it specifically out of eyesight of Fairna to scratch and then moving it back out. Um, Continuing.
And they aren't allowing the Isra's not allowing for local fisher folk to have provisions to still make their earnings.
Far from it. Far from it. She's so focused on her own sort of clan's shipping ventures here that the locals are, well, to be honest, just getting in her way. It's terrible.
Is there
To
not?
be
I'm sorry to be so blunt. I might not fully understand the runnings of this island, is not the local business to be taxable to the empire? Wouldn't your works still contribute to income for this, even this shipping business here?
I like you, friend. You are very, very, very business minded, but the tariffs that she is making from her shipping are so much more that the tiny bit of lost profit from a few local fishermen are just an acceptable loss for her. But to be honest, I think that it's hurting her as well. This blockade seems to be less about, you know, fixing her bottom line and more out of some kind of personal vendetta against invisible smugglers. Which, mind you, by the way, I don't believe that there are smugglers on this island. All that business at the warehouse, I think it was just someone got drunk last night and well.
Kind of being as blunt and like looking at Remy and perceiving him, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Rim is screaming down from the top, like, "Where did they get drunk?"
Fair enough. For a minute, like looks back and it's just like,
No, not actually.
uh,
Okay.
but Fairna just bluntly says, "Do you know any smugglers or who would be potentially inclined to be said?" And kind of does the air quotes with her fingers, smugglers. Uh, if there were some on this island, which I understand you do not believe there are, but if there were, would there be someone who would be a rabble rouser if it were?
Can you give me either a diplomacy check plus 20 or a streetwise check plus 30?
Uh, we're gonna go streetwise here. I think uh Fairna is doing that kind of like undercover work, even though it's more for just trying to gain information. Plus 30, you
Sure.
said?
Yeah.
All right.
This is more absolutely showing up in the NY. This is more like the Law and Order people just showing up in their NYPD uniforms, being
Yeah,
like,
just
"Well,
like
we need some information
we
from
need some.
you."
There's no need to be undercover. It's time to just be blunt. That's gonna be 60. So my target was 61. I rolled a 28.
Oh, you
Woo!
nailed it. You absolutely nailed it. Okay. So you're gonna take 4 XP in Streetwise.
Let's go.
Um, and Remy pauses for a second and looks at you. He goes, it's rare to see someone of the cloth, and especially a fellow Kianosan, to be working for the Empire. And, well, times are tough here. And he gets really quiet and goes, let's just say we all need to make money somehow to survive. I might have some more information and maybe something you could help me with as well. But first, you have to prove to me that you are well, let's just say that you're a friend. I Everyone in a 12-mile radius heard Isra shouting about the warehouse. I know that's why you're here, to work for her. Why don't you go and look at the warehouse? And rumor has it that she hasn't even been in there once. She doesn't know what's missing. Why don't you bring something of value just for me to inspect, just to make sure that you know, I want to do my part for the warehouse, make sure all of their goods are in tip-top condition. Then maybe I'll give you some more information.
Again, I think just being blunt but still understanding, Fairna kind of leans in and just says, "Word to the wise, I don't work for the Empire, but I will do this for you."
I like you. I like you a lot.
I will see about potentially acquiring this item. So, Isra has never been in the warehouse once.
I mean, not since the break-in. Uh, it happened last night, admittedly, so it's not like she's been sitting on this for too long, but she mostly has been, and I quote, waiting for those damn mercenaries to show up to solve this for her. No, I
Interesting.
understand. She's incredibly incompetent.
I will talk to my friend and we will see what we can do. Do you
He
go
Oh,
ahead?
he takes out his hand to shake your hand. He takes out his quick he takes out his left hand and immediately puts it behind him and brings out his right hand. Can you give me a perception check plus 10? This is entirely sight based, so it's not going to be any
Okay.
bonuses. Yeah.
So it's just going to be a 38.
After all, it is the stanky leg, not the
Uh,
stanky hand.
that's going to be an 89. Not very perceptive today.
So you're very aware that there's something weird going on. You know, that's the check will do that, but you did not see what's going on with that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And he brings out his right hand to shake your hand.
Gotcha. Uh, Ferna will shake it, giving like a curt like half bow as shaking it in the process of shaking it, and then we'll say one more thing. Do you know anything about young Lucian's parents?
Oh, young Lucian's parents. Poor child, poor child. They're my neighbors, by the way, the Allairs, Lucien Allaire. Um, he I was at my home this morning before I came here to hawk whatever meager wares that I have, and I heard him crying that his parents had gone missing. I brought him here, hoping that the Wenyer would help him. Uh, I know that they seem strange to me too, but Wenyers are more or less diplomats, focused priests of peace, as it were. So I thought if there's anybody I could at least trust to have some kind of authority to start this investigation, it would be the Wenyer. Um, but anyway, Lucien said that his parents went missing, so I brought him here just so he wouldn't be home alone. If I had a guess, though, on what happened to his parents, I think that Isra had some goons just make them disappear. I think she is starting to get so desperate with these imaginary smugglers and lost profits and just the incompetence of her leadership that she is starting to try to, well, admittedly, do harm. Well, she's been doing harm to the local population for a while, but I think she's being more direct with it now.
But why target these Allairs? Are they? Is there something special about that family?
Well, uh, no, there's nothing special about that family. In fact, I bet she just picked them at random. Can you give me an investigation check plus 10?
All right. So that's a 008. So I think that's
Oh,
just
that's gonna
8.
totally nail it. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
just
that
an 8.
that would yeah, I succeed.
Okay, 8 XP in investigation. Um,
That puts me up to
so
12.
nice. So Remy uh is being you can clearly see that Remy is backing up, not because he knows something is special about this family, but because you kind of caught him in he's clearly like he knows more than he's letting on about the missing family.
Hmm.
Uh um and he was clearly directly trying to pin it on Isra, but you're not exactly sure why.
Okay. All right. Uh, I think at that juncture, Ferna will kind of just give a nice toothy smile and just I bid you adieu, Rennie. I will be in touch. and will yell loudly at Rim from be like, "We should go investigate the warehouse." Rim?
Rim, having taken a nice breath of sea air, descends back down into the swamp and will walk alongside Mechanical Weg. Mechanical Weg? Oh, woo! Mechanical Leg whirring along. Um, and do you catch them up?
Yes.
Okay. So they'll say, I, I, mm, I want to make something that we can follow. Like something from the warehouse, but something that we will be able to track pretty easily. So we can see where it goes.
I like your thinking. I will be honest, I don't 100% as much as I am sympathetic to the people here. Uh, I don't know if I trust this Remy 100% yet.
Oh, it doesn't sound like we should.
Mm.
And kind of, yeah, we shouldn't. Um, nobody. Um, everybody's got an angle. One angle is survival though, and I'm pretty cool with that. So, um, Rim will kind of look at, and Rim will share that the interaction with how poorly people are paid here, and it's like, yeah, survival is rough. And as they're walking to the warehouse, and so I guess the first thing would be to see like any damage to the warehouse.
So as soon as you approach the warehouse, you see that there are two kind of clerks standing outside of it. Before you go up and interacting with them, to sort of let you do exactly what you said, do you want to, before like actually approaching the front of the warehouse, do like a perimeter to it, or are you just gonna kind of walk in and then see if there's any damage on the inside?
I'll run a perimeter.
Okay, can you give me a, let's see here, a perception check? It would be plus, oh, you know what? I will let you give me a perception check plus 20 or an engineering check plus 20.
Oh, engineering. Okay. Not gonna get it. 98.
Okay.
Oof.
So you just take a quick little run around the building, and there is something that you notice pretty obviously because it is uh, just so clear on how this would work. But there, towards sort of the back, there is a series of small, strategically placed windows on a few places around the warehouse. Um, they're barred and all of that, but they're super tiny. Like it would take basically a child to be able to fit through one of these. And you notice that one of the windows in the very back of the warehouse, uh, 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 the latch is just broken off and it is still open, and nobody has closed it. That is the one thing you notice even on a failure. And you, by the way, I
Okay.
assume you kind of take your way back around, so you meet Farina back at the front with that.
And so they'll relay, well, whoever is doing this is hiding behind children to do their dirty work or is very small. And describes the window setup. Shall we see what these clerks have to say for themselves?
Sure.
As soon as you approach, you see two other Vatir. They look tired and worn and a little bit antsy, and they go, "Oh, thank goodness that you two are here. Isra has been yelling all morning about this, and says we're not allowed in the warehouse. We're not allowed to do our job until you clear it. You clear it after your investigation, which means that. And by the way, we get paid by the hour, so we've just been sitting here unpaid and just waiting for you. It doesn't matter."
You're not getting paid for the work you're doing right here at this moment.
No, and to be honest, what we're doing is sitting around. But
Well, you are
sitting
on
around
guard
by
duty. That is work.
tell that to Isra. I agree with you, friend, but that's that is well, Isra doesn't see it that way.
Of course. You haven't been inside yet. Um, have any have you seen any children hanging around the warehouse recently?
No, no, I mean, well, except for that the Lucian over there that showed up this morning from the town across the island, but no, not really. There's very few people that live on this side of the island permanently, and to be honest, very few families. Actually, no families. It's not really a place to raise children at this sort of port.
Who actually would be anywhere near this at night?
The warehouse? Not really anybody, to be honest. It should just be locked up, and we should all just be home.
There,
Although
there's no watch.
give give me a either a diplomacy check +10 or an investigation check +10.
We'll do diplomacy. Well, my diplomacy with the +10 would have been 42. I rolled a 47, so that's a failure. So
Um,
close.
so close. Rim, do you want to try anything before we move on with that failure?
No, I'm letting Farina lead.
Okay. And goes. No, no watch. We uh, we have a couple of guards that occasionally walk around here, but no ones that are dedicated to the island itself. My friend here, and points to the other clerk, Bjor over here. He takes night walks and around the island, but I don't think well, he doesn't have an official title of guard.
Great. That Thank you very much for that information. And Rim will kind of walk over to Bior and will like put an arm around them and say, "Hey, how are you?"
Can you give me either a diplomacy check or a streetwise check +30?
It's the same thing, okay? 20.
Nice, that's gonna do it. So which one did you do?
Diplomacy.
Okay. Then you're gonna take 4 in diplomacy. Um, and um, you as soon as you do that, you can see your like uh kind of feels comfortable around you, just to the point where it's like, oh, okay, clearly you're like a buddy, and is clearly going to listen to what you have to say.
Oh, you know, let's see. They would not think this much, so they would just say, "Someone walking around at night. What's that like? Do you feel safe?
I used to feel safe,
What
but
happened?"
last night during the storm, I and kind of points to behind the warehouse, which is like right at the edge of town. I okay, I can trust you, so I'll listen. I heard some I heard some noises, weird noises. Not break-in, not drunken sailor noises, not whatever nonsense smuggler noises, weird noises, like a strange sort of gurgle uh, coming from behind the warehouse last night. Uh, I look, I didn't want to tell anybody because people are just going to think that I'm making it up, but I swear I heard something strange, some creatures of some kind. I Oh, you probably don't believe me either.
Oh no, I believe you 100%. There are terrible things all throughout everything. And of course there's a monster here. Um where was this and then I'll sort of like kind of like draw like chalk on the back of my hand like using my blueprint chalk to kind of like draw a map of the warehouse and be like, where about did you hear the gurgling?
Well, it seemed to be coming from here and points at your hand. That is where the broken window was in the back.
Okay, there was gurgling. Is there anything, can I like think who might know? Maybe the peace priest would know. This is just me thinking, like maybe the peace priest would know like fauna or flora or monsters in the area. Do I think that's
May-
a reasonable assumption?
Um, Maybe you get the idea that the priest is also relatively recently here
Okay.
of some accord, but somebody who lives here might know about things that are somebody who's lived here more long term might know more about the local flora or fauna or monsters.
Okay. So a gurgling. All right, cool. We're gonna go in and check out this cool hangout spot you guys get. Hopefully we'll get you back to work soon. And again, we'll slip. Is there half pence?
So 5 edge is append.
5 edge. Okay. I'll just hand him an edge.
Yeah, and just takes that money and goes, "Thank you. It's been a long time since we've seen any sort of generosity on this island."
It sounds like it. Sorry about that. Um, and she'll kind of make her way forward into the warehouse. I said theater for some reason.
As we're walking in, kind of after letting Rim go through all that, just as we're like entering, Ferna will turn and just say to one of the cler- uh,
Clerks
clerks, does there happen to be any sort of manifest for this warehouse?
goes, "Yeah, it should be right at the desk at the front."
Excellent, thank you. We'll turn and follow Rim the rest of the way in.
Cool.
Cool. So
Um,
quick out of character.
mhm.
We're at about 8:23. We're about an hour 20 in. Would you like to take a 5 minute, take a little break, get some water, stretch, and then come back? Or
That seems like a good idea.
Sure.
Um, and before that, I'd like to ask, has anybody ranked up, and is anybody close to ranking any specific things up?
Uh, I have not ranked up yet. My closest is probably my investigation at 12, but
Nice. Need a little bit
perception
more.
is at 12 out of 20. Yeah.
Nice. Let me know when one of those ranks up. I'm really excited to see that. I'm sure it will during the session.
All right, wicked. So hey, hello, Red Necromancy. Thank you so much for chatting. We really appreciate having you here. Let us. We will be back in about 5 minutes. We'll be back at 8:30. We're just gonna go to our break here, and then we will be right back. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in a few.
see you in a few.
This house though, where is it? Is it's a warehouse? Like
No,
it turns
it's a
into a
here house.
house?
It just
It's a
means that on
here
a full
house. Like
moon,
our characters, like on a full moon, it's a house, but
it turns
usually
into a
it's a place
house.
to
Yeah.
store
There we go.
things.
Okay, cool, cool,
Yeah.
cool, cool, cool. Good, good,
I
good.
mean, that's cool. I think like a lot like Lycanthropy is very like one tony, especially after the vampire werewolf movies of yore, you know, romance books. Anyways, welcome back. My name is Molly. I use she her pronouns. I am one of our players here. I am bringing to life the wonderful exotic Rim. And to my left, as you look at me, is my friend from the Trev.
Hey, Molly said it. It's me, Trev. Bringing our furry, wonderful friend Fairna to life.
Okay, wait. Bringing our furry,
Yeah, bringing our furry. What's wrong?
comma, wonderful friend.
Yeah,
Okay. I
many
mean,
descriptors.
we'll be like very honest about who is consuming trans tabletop content and say that's statistically probable.
You did invite me onto your show after all.
Is that the case? Are you coming out now, Jackie?
Hey, I'll just say
Good.
from my perspective too, I did get my ticket for Anthrocon already set up for this year. So you know what?
Go you.
Amazing. I'll shout outs to the Crucible of Aether server. You know what's going on. Anyway.
Crucible of Aether is another place. If you're queer and you're confused, if you're confusing Discord with a dating app, the Crucible of Aether Discord is a wonderful server to join. Because a lot of other people there also might think that Discord is a dating app. And so in the
uh,
times when you're not facilitating a dating server over at the Crucible Discord, and an open playtest started February 1st and running through till
it's running indefinitely. As I said, come and join us for the ride of creating Crucible of Aether. Come and test it. Come and get your 2 cents in and help us make this game great.
make Crucible great.
No.
Not again.
Okay.
So as we move past, Rim had just buddied with someone and found out that there's been a strange gurgling. And so as we dive into an enigma of a warehouse that I could only see a window it through. What do we see?
Okay. So are you entering the warehouse proper or
Sure.
Yep.
Well, what do we
okay?
see? We're moving through the front doors. What is there?
Okay. So as soon as you walk into the warehouse, the first thing you notice easy is that to your right there is a kind of a small open office, and there's that desk with the manifest sort of on it. And the warehouse itself is sort of split into 2 rows with a single central aisle down the middle for rolling barrels and things down. In the front, there is clearly just a series of uh, basically very, very commonly used supplies for ships and things like that. And you can't exactly see what is in the back. But if I could have you both make perception or investigation checks, plus 30.
Does it
38.
have to?
Bada
Does
boom.
this involve any scent?
It does involve scent.
All right. So you said 38 or 30?
Hmm. 30.
30. So I'll add my plus 10 to make it 40 for perception.
And over successes, I would like to know those.
Over success is 2.
Nice.
So this would be 40 plus 28. So that would be 68. And I got a 37. So that would be
Oh, 68. So close.
What? Two over successes, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So both of you are going to get 4 in in what your skills, and so as you're looking around, the first thing you notice, with sort of kind of taking a step back and really, really, investigating and pondering everything, is that the warehouse is sort of split forward and backward into less valuable but more regularly used items in the front. And in the back are more valuable items, things like specialty, like spices, as well as gunpowder and things are in the back. Um, Towards the back, though, you notice that there is a bunch of barrels of Burns treacle, a sort of oily looking liquid has been. A couple of them are missing from the rack and have some of them have been broken and they are just spilled on the floor. There's just this thick, oily liquid spilled on the floor. Um, um, yeah, and that is what you two notice from with that check.
Okay. Is the window where's the window in
The window
comparison?
is
So,
complete opposite end of you. It's in the far back. You're in the front.
and the treacle is in the far back?
Yes.
So the treacle is near the open window.
Yes.
So immediately no subtlety. We have a treacle elemental on the loose here. A bubbling noise, broken treacle barrels. Is the breaking of the treacle barrels consistent with outward movement or with exterior breaking?
Um, it is. Well, can you give me an engineering check plus
Oh,
20?
can I? Can I? Probably if I can find it. Yep, 20.
Mhm.
All right. Mama needs a resolution to the plot. Here we go. Yeah. It is
Okay.
over success by 1.
Nice. Okay, we're gonna give you 6 in engineering, and someone from the outside has broken into these barrels. But something that you notice as you are going through and investigating these things is it seems like minus this and the occasional like small tool, that is the only things missing from this warehouse. It is there are you can see in the back there are valuable barrels of gunpowder. You even found you see laying in the back a really nice quality sword, something that someone would want to really steal. None of it's missing, just burns treacle, which you are familiar just gets rust off of metal, and a few small tools. That's all that's missing. And the drippings lead all the way back towards that broken window.
Are the drippings like, is there like footprints?
Can you give me one more perception check, this time plus 30?
Rims on the case.
Rooms on the case.
I'm sorry. I'm just like, I'm in the zone, Chief. I'm in the zone. Perception 30, 62, rolled a 52, so it's over success 1.
Nice. Okay, you're going to take forward perception. Um, you notice
Oh, I
two
rank
things.
up.
Nice. Okay, so I'm gonna say this to the audience, and then I will explain what's happening. I'm assuming you can sort of rank up on your own while we do this. But Rim has gotten enough XP and perception to literally increase their perception skill. This will go up by a specific amount according to sort of how the rules work. But basically, this is part of Rim shaping their character through play. Right. This is I've been using a lot of perception, and now my perception is getting better. And that is something that will happen many times throughout a game of Crucible of Aether, especially longer term plays. We've only been doing this for an hour and a half. But anyway, what you notice with the perception check is the following. There are footprints that lead out the back to that window, which, by the way, is just large enough for one of these tiny barrels, not tiny, but small enough barrels to fit through. But you notice that there is little footprints in the oil, 7-toed footprints. No folk that you know of in this world has tiny 7-toed footprints. By the way, smaller than that of even a Nictaryu child. Just little tiny 7-toed footprints in here. And you also notice mixed in with the Burns treacle is a weird black sludge. That black sludge leads all the way to where that window is, in which there is some of that sludge on the windowsill. The sludge, unlike the treacle, which is sort of an oily mixture, is very much like a thick and viscous uh, and deep black substance.
Like an ichor.
Hmm. Exactly.
Hey,
And
that's my
you,
vocab word. Icker. I hardly knew her.
and Ferno, what would you like to do in this moment?
I think Ferna is just kind of letting Rim do Rim's pronouns she her,
They.
yes?
She,
They.
they.
Okay. She they.
Do that.
Same. Hey. Okay. So letting her do her work and kind of has uh a note one maybe like a notebook open or something like that, like a writing implement to just kind of document everything that like I imagine Rim is kind of talking through, like giving what's happening, like a play by play, so like recording it down to like remember what is actually happening here. And I think once Rim would say, like, point out the Icker, Ferna would just join them and kind of like observe the Icker with them, if that is what Rim is about to
Yeah.
do.
Rim
Okay.
sits in quiet contemplation of how seven toads are carrying a barrel.
Nice.
Um,
Good bit.
delayed gratification. And
Take 10
will,
XP and bit. No, I'm just kidding.
hey, I mean, honestly, if you want to and this system isn't just something that's like monolithic, right? This is something you can homebrew. And so if you want to add like a bit score, like you can absolutely do that. Like there, I do see the room in this sheet for a bit.
We love to see it.
We'd love to
Yeah.
see a bit. So yeah, so I'll contemplate the nature of Ichor if I've ever seen anything like this. Can I get
So,
like a little? Can I get like a sample?
yes, you can. So I want you to do one of two things for me. How are you going to get this sample? I need you to be very specific how you are interacting with this strange ichor. Are you touching it? Are you just grabbing it? Are you finding one of the many containers that are around here to pour it in? Be very specific on how you're going to interact with this.
So
Mhm.
you hear the whirring gears in her right arm. Sorry,
Mhm.
left arm. Right arm? Doesn't matter. Um it's a fine quality arm.
Mhm.
It's a fine quality arm. What arm is it? Doesn't matter. Left arm. So
Doesn't matter.
you hear the spinning in her left arm as she's walking around, and you see kind of like maybe she'll find like a small ink bottle for like a ink for an ink and quill set, and she'll kind of dump out the ink into the treacle, and
Got it.
Just making a
um
mess.
and we'll just kind of like shake it out and make sure it's clean, maybe like hold a lighter in to burn the ink out,
Mhm.
and then we'll kind of like once it's clean enough, she'll go for a scoop of the ichor.
Okay, okay. Um, can you give me an augmentation check, plus 10? I This is you basically scooping up the ichor in a way that is more or less clean.
Doing my best.
Meanwhile,
Hmm.
Fern
Plus what?
is
Plus 10.
Fern is going to place her fingers uh in the ichor and like do one of those, like kind of do the like look at it, like spreading it apart.
Got it. So we're gonna react to both of these.
Yep.
You clearly rolled really great. What did you get?
I got a success one
Oh, like you just like
over
rolled a one?
success one.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. Okay, so you are going to get 8 XP in augmentation, and um, you just managed to get it in the jar. You have a clean sample. Everything was good. It just right into the jar. You're fine.
Damn
Verna, take
fertility preservation. Hey, how are you?
take 2 physical stress. And it immediately just not just burns your hand a little bit, um, but it actually leaves a strange itchy mark on it.
On Rim?
Your on you, the one that because
Oh, because
you
I
touched
put
it.
my fingers in
You're
it.
just
Yeah,
putting your non-robotic. You just touched it.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm taking two
physical
physical
stress.
physical
Yeah,
stress, so that would knock down my total from 6 to 4. For
yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah. For this first tier. Yeah.
okay.
Um. Yeah, and it just burns a little bit. You're okay after the initial like thing, but it leaves a black mark where you touched it, and it just itches.
I look at you. I look at Farron, and I was like, "Remember when you were here to make sure I didn't get hurt?
Uh, of course, that's precisely what I was doing.
Just by shoving your finger into random jelly?"
Well, if I didn't do it, we wouldn't know. Uh, just don't touch it. It'll burn. And kind of like rubbing like the fingers together, like that's really itching.
So that Remy guy, he's he had something to do with this.
You think so?
His hand was itching. He kept holding his hand behind his back, itching it. Didn't he? Didn't you see it? He thought about shaking your hand with one hand and then switched it.
Oh, is that what he was doing?
He was scratching his hand. Something fierce. Either that or
Hmm.
he's got the worst case of mechanical poison ivy I've ever seen.
Interesting. Well, I didn't notice that, but good call out.
So, what? Why would they just steal and there's nothing else broken in this place?
Nope. There's of course, there are literally like a plenty of valuables in here, but yeah, it was just small tools and some of the barrels of Burns treacle that are missing.
Okay. Um and the burned treacle is used to polish metal,
Hmm. And it's not particularly valuable. It just gets rust off of metal.
and it's clear that a barrel is missing as well as a broken barrel.
Yeah, there's a couple. Yeah, there's a broken barrel and there's a couple barrels missing.
Treacle to polish metal. What the heck? Okay, this is the
Maybe
weirdest crime ever.
they just needed to get rid of some rust then.
Yeah, but rust from what? Oh, anyways. Okay. So should we ask about the who might want treacle and why? Has there been
Potent-
any unnecessary demands on the treacle market?
well, if we think that Remy is behind the treacle stealing, I mean, he seemed like he would be inclined to give us more information if we took something from the warehouse to verify our credibility.
So I mean, we can just say that the two things that were stolen were, and she'll kind of go through the valuables section and like something that's like more of a common theft item, like a bottle of wine, or is that what he
Which,
wanted?
which, by the way, now that you're kind of going through it and thinking about it, I'm going to give you a little bit of a list of some more valuable items that are in here, just to sort of help out with that. But I mentioned already the sort of fine quality rapier that's in here. But there's also, a barrel of gunpowder. There are two short bows. There are three pairs of leather gloves, two studded leather chest plates, as well as just a whole barrel of cooking spices. Oh, and a few torches if you're so interested.
What do you think? What do you think Remy might be interested in? Cooking spices? He's probably more about worried about getting food, not worried about the flavor. Shortbow might help get more food. Hunting, bow
That will,
fishing.
if his hands are itchy from this substance, maybe those gloves, so he can hide his hands.
That's a great one. Let's do that. And she'll grab. They'll reach up and grab a pair of the nice leather gloves.
Nice. And are you making any effort to hide them on your person, or are you just gonna just throw them in like a backpack or something like that?
Uh, um, uh, um, just throw them in a bag. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good to know. All right, what do you want to do now? And by the way, just to point out, all that stuff is leading towards the broken window, of course.
Right. And looking out of the broken window, if I look out of it, is there like a clear sludge track going somewhere?
Give me a either a survival plus 20. Actually, yeah, give me a survival check plus 20.
Okie dokie. Whoa. I rolled the nice number.
Oh, that's probably not gonna
That
succeed, but
is
also
not
nice.
gonna do it.
But hey, you can still get the nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
nice.
Hey, come on, chat. Nice in the chat. Nice in the chat for a 69. Come on.
That's the advantage of a D100 system.
You do
You can
get a
roll a
nice
69.
you get to roll 4 and 20 and 69. It's nice.
Farina, do you want to attempt to do this as well? You also can do this a survival 20. I also let you do
Sure.
a perception 20 as well.
We'll do the survival 20.
Okay.
That's a 32, which would
Woo!
be
Probably.
I think one over, because it's every 10 below, right? Is an over success.
Yes.
Yeah, so that would be a success with one over success.
Nice. Okay, you're gonna get 6 in survival. You see the tracks, not just the small group of some kind of seven-toed creatures, but also a path where they were rolling the barrel, and just within that barrel path, some of the sludge and uh, some of the burned treacle. You also notice that there was clearly a path going to the warehouse from the woods and one leaving as well. The one that is coming towards the warehouse has some of the sludge in the track, but obviously none of the burned treacle, no barrel tracks, and the one that is leaving has the burned treacle and the barrel tracks, as well as the sludge and things like that.
Okay. So um do you want to just go into the woods and see where that goes?
Might as well. Or we can go back to Isra and report our findings, but if we're supposed to be on the case, then best bet is to follow the trail that we have in front of us.
Yeah. Isra can get the most watered down version of things. She doesn't actually care what's happening. She just wants to feel in control.
True enough.
Um so yeah, I'm voting to go follow the trail that they came to the path by. Came to the warehouse by.
Let's do it.
Cool. So you begin to follow the tracks. You go deep into the woods, following these little tracks. When all of a sudden, without any sort of perception check you needed, you just hear the sound of bushes being pushed around, branches breaking, and just under their breath, damn it. Uh,
Hello.
Are any itchy palms about?
no, sorry. And this very, very like tired looking Nictaryu in uh, uh, the full gear of a ranger, a sort of monster hunter of this world, stumbles out of the woods and just goes, uh, "No, sorry." Um, and then he immediately takes out his sword in sort of trying to kind of go through the motions and just goes, "And what are you doing here?"
We're looking for people with itchy hands. We are part of a pharmaceutical test group sent from the Empire to test a new calamine lotion. Are you interested?
Can you make a deception check plus 30 to sort of say that?
Over failures 1.
Okay. He goes, don't lie to me. What are you actually doing here? Why are you investigating these tracks? Don't you know that there's monsters about? Don't you know that this whole island is in grave danger?
Here to help with the monster, friend.
Hmm.
It seems the
Well,
monsters aren't the only problem on this island.
well, yeah, the Empire, of course, but I have no time to deal with whatever petty politics are happening there. There is, sorry, formalities. Uh, the name is Bryce Chardon. I am what I thought was a retired ranger. For those unfamiliar, and he kind of looks over at you, Fairna, from your part of the world. Rangers are significantly less common, and goes, we we fight the strange creatures that come out of, well, these biomechanical labyrinths called Doctili Hollows, keeping all of Odeos safe from whatever horrors would emerge from there. There is a hollow on this island, and admittedly, it was sealed up a very, very long time ago, supposedly keeping this island permanently safe. But for some reason, somehow, the hollow has been unsealed. And strange, well, it points down at the seven-toed tracks. Griswan, these sort of rock-like mole monsters have gotten free, and, well, I believe they're kidnapping people to take to their queen so that she may feast and create more Griswan. I know I'm putting a lot on you right now, but I okay. I don't know
Here,
who unseal.
here. We were backtracking, following where the tracks came from. These tracks also lead in another direction. Have you followed these tracks back to their point of origin?
Well, only barely. I've looked at this leads you back to the hollow or where the monsters came from. I just I just I'll admit it's unwise to go into a hollow alone. Back in my younger days, I had a whole team of rangers with me, and let's just say I've seen one too many friends be taken away by monsters, and it would be foolish to go in there alone.
It's dangerous to go out alone. Take this. Um, and Rim will say, well, I don't want to speak for Farron, but we will walk with you if it means the betterment of this island and the protection of the people who are there. We would walk with you to the Hollow if you would stand with us.
Okay,
I,
but
I, I don't want to speak for Farron.
I will walk where you walk, so I will go with you.
It's a
thank
little
you.
different from the problems we used to get into back in the capital, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Goes, thank you. I, I'll admit that the reason why I need you to go in there with me is because well, have you heard of Lucian's parents?
Yes.
I believe the Griswan have taken them on their trip to the, oh, gosh, sorry, I'm just so confused on how these Griswan got out. But what matters is someone let these Griswan out, and they have captured innocent Nictriu, and I need to save them. I can't lose any more people.
Makes sense to us.
Can I try to? I don't know what it would be equivalent to like an insight, but like Bryce seems very either anxious or nervous or unsure of himself, can I just try to like is he hiding something or are they hiding something?
Yeah, you can do an investigation check plus 30.
Okay. That is a 29 and my
That's
target
yeah.
number was 63. So
Yeah,
that's
Ooh, 3 over success.
3 over success, yeah.
so you get 4 XP in investigation. Bryce is clearly an old ranger. Bryce has seen quite a bit. Bryce Bryce is sort of someone who you can tell by the way that their gear on them is sort of ill-fitting and like just a lot of the way that they're kind of put together is sort of done very quickly that they did not expect to have to return to their old bit of work and they're kind of doubting their own abilities if they can even uh, return to their job as a monster hunter. But clearly, the presence of monsters on this island have made them come out of retirement, and they are doing their duty no matter what.
Hey,
Gotcha.
you know what? Snaps for someone having the strength to come out, you know? It's a big step. Snaps.
It's truly an endeavor.
And then Trev.
Nice.
All right. So he seems up and up. Like, let's get some treacle.
He
What
goes,
what what might these 7 toads want with polish?
he laughs a little bit, and he goes, well, Griswan mostly just collect victims for their queen. Um, they, and he kind of laughs a little bit under his breath. Probably in one of their excursions to try to find more victims, stumbled upon the treacle. Well, to them, it's basically like alcohol. They,
Oh, cool. Drunk Griswan. Love that.
uh, honestly, it might be to our advantage if they're drunk.
Are
I
they
He
love
goes,
the
no,
advantages.
are they the reason that this ichor is produced? And like tries to point to if there's some on the ground, the like black ichor.
and
I'll,
goes,
I'll hold up the vial.
and goes, Doctili engine oil. It's produced by some of the strange machinery inside of the hollows. They must have gotten it on themselves just from amongst their hideaway.
It is rather seems corrosive.
Yeah, touching it would touching it would leave quite the mark there, friend.
It like puts hand behind back or like puts hand aside, like not showing that she touched it.
Yeah.
So, shall we? But if the engine oil, the sludge, originated from the warehouse, we did not follow sludge here.
So the sludge originated from the hollow. The treacle was from the warehouse.
Got it.
Cool.
Okay. Do the Griswan make a gurgling noise when they travel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
And they probably would only travel under the uh, darkness of night because they are, well, to be honest, incredibly afraid and actually harmed by light. Which reminds me, if we're going in there, you should probably take these, and he hands both of you a torch.
love that.
I mean, yeah, Farina will take the torch.
Cool.
So I have a
Um,
torch in one hand and my Black River sword in the other, and I'm getting ready to. I'm walking forward.
nice. So you follow the tracks to a small glade to the west of that Nictriu village I mentioned earlier. There is what seems to be a hole in the ground, no more or a little bit more than 3 meters across, ringed with bands of strange metal that seems to grow out of the rock. Um, um, what do you want to do?
Is there a clear way to descend into this, or it's just a hole?
There's a clear way to descend. It sort of goes down at like a 45-degree angle.
Scary hole in the ground? She looks at Farron.
After you.
And you'll see the augmented arm will sort of the hand will flip back, and a Zippo lighter will be exposed, and she'll spark up the torch, and she'll be like, "Oh, I love old technology. It's so primitive. It's a pastoral." And she looks at the torch, and she flicks her Zippo hand lighter back down, and starts walking into the abyss.
Perfect. Perfect. Um,
Ferno will follow behind.
okay. Bryce is going to be directly next to Fairness, sort of making a sort of a triangular formation with Rim at the front.
Cool.
Um, okay. Inside the hollow. The insides smell of oil, must, and burnt hair. The floor and walls are a web of coils of a strange substance intertwined with one another. Like muscles that have grown all on their own, they wait to flex for some strange, unknown purpose. Steam hisses. Some device around the corner moves. The walls, the ceiling, the whole place seems to thrum. There is a tunnel in front of you. You are in a strange, strange hallway of living metal. What do you do?
Can Ferna, kind of in awe, I don't think Ferna's experienced this before, but trying to keep eye on the prize, just perceive any egress, like entrances or egresses in this tunnel, like when we're starting to move through, of like what are all the exits or the possible like uh offshoot tunnels, if there are any, like just trying to perceive all entrances
Mhm.
and exits
Got
possible.
it. Um, give me. I will either say you can give me an perception check just to see stuff, or I will allow you to do a survival check to wayfind. These would both be at a plus 20.
And this perception check is brought to you by the Crucible of Aether Discord. If you haven't joined already, what are you doing? The love of your life could be on the Crucible of Aether playtest. You could get into an online Crucible of Aether playtest and find out that you just simulationist RPGs were just everything you needed, and Crucible was the peak perfection. You found it the first time. So hop in there, get into that play test, get involved. Jackie will be there. Jackie's a lot of fun. We love Jackie.
Ah.
And on that note, uh don't be like Farina and fail this by um I think 4 over failures. It would have been a 49, or no, 3 over failures. It would have been a 49. Uh, got a 90.
Oh gosh. So, um, the only entrance and exit that you notice was the one that you came in on. In which the one thing that you are sort of kind of remembering as you're going through is that next to the like that hole was a huge, not huge, just enough to cover it, but imperial seal, a physical sort of engraved stone of well engraved sort of a structure of metal that was supposedly supposed to be pushed in front of this thing uh, to keep it sealed, and it was just moved. It was just moved away from the thing. But the only entrance that you see was the one that you came in.
um, and so you say that I smell burnt hair.
Yeah, burnt hair and oil. This whole place just has a very strange sort of mechanical feel to it. And so far, the only way you know is to go forward, and the only way out is back.
Yep. I'm sort of interested in burnt hair seems like a weird smell for a machine. Like I've spent a lot of my life around machines, and so burnt is it
So a
can
lot of
I
the
can I
machines, a
sorry, go
lot of the
ahead.
machines that you spend a lot of your time with are, machines that you would understand, right? These are things of metal and gears and things like that. The old Doctili Hollows are, like I mentioned, the metal is something that the Empire has not been able to reproduce. The machines in here feel almost organic. Everything in here feels not like the machines you're used to. It is alien. It is almost alive.
Just as a quick aside before we continue, I just have a question for you, Jackie. Do you play Magic the Gathering?
I do.
Was this in any way inspired by like the Phyrexians? Because I'm getting that, like, if you're familiar with the Phyrexian
Mhm.
vibe, it's very like living machine.
Yeah, I was not directly inspired, but it is totally a good one for one if you're trying to get a picture.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Uh,
Okay, good to
well,
know.
mhm. Well, maybe not one for one, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thought to where anyways. So I'm just kind of honestly like they're looking for like if there's like a little jib jab that she's looking at and she's like, oh, you know what, that might make for a good punching arm or a good kicking leg, or maybe I need to upgrade my femur. If
Mm-hmm.
she sees a good little mechanical femur down there, she's gonna look for it. Anything to boost her augments.
Yeah, it would definitely be good. You know from experience that any sort of Doctili artifacts are worth quite a bit of money.
Sure.
Hmm. And
So
so
yeah,
they
I'd
could
like
be,
to scavenge something.
yeah, yeah. So can you give me an engineering check plus 10? Mhm.
I can't tell if that's good or bad yet.
Yeah, I can.
That is a over success 2.
Nice. All right, you're gonna get 8 in engineering. Um, you find a small device on the ground. A small device on the ground. That it almost seems to be like, imagine a human lung made out of what seems to be metallic strands and pulsating inner pistons, sort of making it breathe. You don't know what it does, but there's something that immediately strikes you as you pick it up. It smells like
Okay.
rotting fish. Nothing else in here smells like rotting fish.
Immediately, immediately.
The plot thickens.
uh,
Rim, what seems to be the problem?
uh, she holds up this nasty thing right under your nose.
Uh,
And you
Does
immediately
this
pick it up.
remind
I was
you?
about to say, Farina
Does
takes
this
a
remind
big
you of
old
someone?
canid sniff, uh, makes a twist their face as it stinks, and is our friend Remy one of these creatures?
Or is the one maybe has made a deal with these creatures and is feeding them people like his neighbors?
Do you say this out loud?
Yes.
And Bryce pitches in and just goes, "To make a deal with these creatures. I would be so no, I couldn't possibly imagine anyone would be working with them. More just an opportunity to sneak. What? Are you telling me Remy broke in here?
It seems
I'm
like
telling
it.
you, yep, a bad smell. If the shoe stinks, it fits.
This is maybe a bit far fetched, but you seem knowledgeable about these creatures. Can they shapeshift in any way or
No.
transform?
If I had to take a guess, I would say that Remy came in here trying to take some sort of artifact and make some money and was so callous as to leave this place open. And I think these creatures got out on their own.
That
Whether Remy
sounds
is aware of this, I'm not sure.
that sounds great. Let's go. Let's go. Um. So should we just seal this again? And like, is there a need to go back? Like, Remy opened it. Remy's stealing artifacts from this, and he let out the glip glops. And if we
But
close it, the glip glops don't have anywhere to go.
if this is the place of the parents, Lucian's parents, we should try to take it to the end and find them.
Oh, yes, we need Lucian's parents. Thank you for reminding me. And you see like a little bit of blonde tuft show underneath the dark brown hair.
I'm gonna get you, Molly. I swear. This blonde slander, I will not.
I was born blonde.
I will not
I
stand.
stand.
I will not stand, sit, or roll over for this.
Oh, you'll roll over for it.
Oh.
All right. So all right, keep walking then. Yeah, parents. Lucian's
And
parents.
you continue to walk down this long tunnel until
Kind
you
of
find
listening for human noises or
Mhm.
not human.
Humanoid noises.
Nick Trio.
Yeah.
So you continue to go down this tunnel until you find what seems to be a chasm. A a chasm that has a makeshift log bridge across it. This log bridge, you arrive at a diagonal intersection containing a strange downward passage, about a 5-meter drop leading almost straight down. Not much is known about the Docteel, even what they looked like, but obviously they did not move as the modern people of Odeos do. A makeshift bridge made of an oaken log has been wedged across the gap, about 4 meters long, and can be crossed. Remy, or not Remy, Bryce looks at all of you.
So you've been in these places. Are these usually safe to walk across?
They're not usually here, I'll admit. I believe that Remy and whoever he came with brought this here.
Great.
What the workmanship of a fisherman is well, I'm not sure.
Can I try to like get like a bolster? With like I don't know if I have like maybe I can use my mechanics kit or my survival kit, something in there to like to steady the bridge.
Absolutely. You can do an engineering check. It'll be a plus 10, and you're getting an additional plus 10 from your mechanics kit for a total of plus 20.
Over failure by one.
You attempt to steady the bridge. It is a clearly these are just logs placed on already strange and slightly undulating material. You are unsure how to get at them steady at all.
All right. Well, I don't know how to get the bridge together, so risk it.
For the biscuit.
And kind of like trying to anchoring myself with my mechanical leg. Hopefully there's a gyroscope in it. Trying to get
You
my way across.
you do
Maybe
actually have the leg lock ability if something goes wrong. Can you give me a dodge check plus 10? That is a combat skill.
can give you a forge check. Oh no. That is like a fail, over fail 4.
Okay. You begin to walk across this bridge so bravely as you strafe forward the great warrior Rim as you walk across it. But the log is clearly very shaky. It is clearly very shaky as you go across, and you start to feel yourself go off balance. What do either of you two do in this moment?
I mean, I try to reach out and grab my friend to steady them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Can you yourself give me another dodge check? Verna, +10.
Dodge +10. Sure. That's an over failure of 2. That would have been my target was 43. I rolled a 76.
Yeah, I got a 7. I got a 77 on my
Or I
last
guess
one.
it's every 10, right? So that would be no, that'd be
Mhm.
2. Yeah, that'd be 2.
Yep. So you are about to fall, Rim. It's not going to be a lethal fall, not at all. It's not that far. But do you want to do anything in this moment? I know that you can use the leg lock function of your augment if you wanted to sort of steady yourself, which would be an augmentation check, I believe, +10.
Yeah, I will. Leg lock is like a wrestling thing.
Mhm. In this case, it's literally like the mechanics of your leg will it's basically an emergency brake for your leg.
So it'll like dig into whatever it's on.
Hmm. Exactly.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so you'll see her reach up or down depending on, is this log spinning? Like,
It's kind of because it is just a log, so it's starting to roll with the undulating metal and things like that, and you're gonna hold on to it.
okay. So yeah, you'll see that the sword will come out of the sheath quickly, and as it comes out, it will tap the leg, and the leg will turn into a claw, like a
Mhm.
a tactile claw, like a chunk. And so like using one arm with the sword digging into the log, and the other leg will kind of try to make her way the rest across.
So normally this is an augmentation check +10, but with your sword and you doing that incredibly like just like that's how you're gonna do it, I'm gonna make this a +30
You want that augmentation or athletics?
augmentation.
Okay, that was cocked. That's a 55 plus 30, 38.
Should
So that's 78. So that's over success 2.
Nice. You absolutely nailed it. You're going to take 8 in augmentation, and you, despite the initial shakiness, do make it across.
Cool.
Cool.
We do.
Okay. And fair enough. What are you going to do?
Um,
Okay, wait, for using the augment, don't I take physical stress?
Only if you fail it.
Only if I fail it. Okay, there you go.
I think seeing Rim do that steady Ferna is going to take out her dagger and try to steady herself with a dagger
Mm.
to do the same thing. Obviously, not with the extra augments, but trying to maintain a sense of grip with that anchor point.
Awesome. So yeah, this is a normally it's a dodge check +10 to get across, but it's a dodge check +30 for you.
Check plus 30. Okay. Nope. That's gonna be an over failure of 2.
Okay. Okay. The log for you, of course. You try to stab into it, but you just push it right to the side, and it starts to shake, and you become sort of you can feel sort of the almost ocean like nature of the living metal move the log around, and it seems as though you are going to fall. Rim, do you want to do anything about this?
Yes, I do. Um, Reaching into my survival kit, I'm going to take out like a rope and hook.
Mhm.
Is that a reasonable use of the survivals
Yep.
kit?
Totally fine.
So I reach in, take out this survivals kit. My augmented hand quick does like a knot around the hook, or maybe it was already pre-wrapped,
Mhm.
and she's just gonna throw it at fair
Mhm.
enough.
Mhm. Can you give me a thrown check plus 30?
Oh, it's literally a one. So
Oh my
yeah,
god, the
that is
best roll in
a
the game.
yep.
Okay,
We
you're
did it,
going to get
everybody. That's a
you
over success 6.
you are going to get 4 XP in thrown, and not just do you immediately feel this just incredibly just like perfectly placed rope that you grab just as you're about to fall to be taken over to the other edge, but it actually throws far enough to grab Bryce, who immediately grabs onto the other part of it, and all of you just get across.
Perfect.
I just was like, I'm going for one. Might as well go for two.
You
Pow!
exactly.
All right.
As you continue walking through this strange ruin, you finally find yourself in sort of the main section of it. So let me get everybody across here on roll 20, and we're gonna move over to a little bit of a map. Currently,
A map.
it's yeah. Currently, it is a little hidden right now. We have Fog of War on, but I'm gonna grab um everyone's characters and so forth. Let me just
I see Icelandic town.
hmm, you should be moved over to the hollow. Are you sure? It still says the players are at
Oh,
hollow.
no. It's just nope, you're good.
Okay. Think. And let's see, Bryce is here. Okay. And we have our wolf mother as well. Okay. So, you are both carrying your torches, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let's start revealing some areas. Um, okay. Let me know if you can start seeing things sort of appearing on your side as well.
I can indeed.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I don't have control of any token yet, but I
Yes,
can see.
let me grab you that really quick. Um, okay. I'm going to do. It will take just 1 second, and if this there we go. Um, GM notes representation. Where is the controlled by? If that doesn't work, I will just move you um on your own. Okay. Um, I am just going to move you. If you want to just sort of ping where you want to go, that is what we will do. The Wolf Mother is this one character here on the right, the one that seems to be sitting down, and the one with the big sword. Is oh yeah, let me get that old marching order as well. The one in the front is Rim. The one down here is Fairna. Um, so you find yourself in sort of an offshoot tunnel of the Doctili Hollow. Um, um, just one of the many sort of twisting tunnels. Um, ahead of you is let me actually reveal slightly more areas so that this is a little bit clearer.
This twisting tunnel brought to you by the patrons of All on the Table. Join today for our exclusive benefits, like maybe Trev singing Wonderwall.
Maybe like subscribe. 100. We need
If we
100
get
new
100
patrons
patrons.
within the next 2 months. I'll sing Wonderwall and have it recorded on the Patreon. Yeah, do that. Thank you.
So we have our there are spider webs here, or this is just
So
gobbledygook.
this is just sort of to represent the sort of web-like nature of living metal.
Gotcha.
So
Cool.
yeah, you see the path kind of diverge up ahead, but right now you are just kind of at this entrance. Um, um, and you can hear in the distance that sort of gurgling sound.
The Rim looks at Farron and is like, my inclination is to just run towards the gurgling.
Let us do that. Settle this
Looks at
matter post haste.
looks at Bryce.
And Bryce goes, yes, the quicker we find them and the quicker we get out of here, we can save this island.
So like the floor that we're walking on, what is it like?
It is sort of these. It almost seems like musculature, um, of kind of interlocking strands of strange metal.
So is it like as we're walking along it, like our boots in their native form, like me with my chainmail, everything? I'm not surprising anybody. Could I like I tie like a scrap of cloth around my chainmail boots to try to get them to be a little quieter against the metal?
Absolutely, you can absolutely do that. And if and when you make a stealth check, you will be getting advantage.
Great. So then I'll just kind of will move up to the first corridor and see where the squelching sound is coming from.
Okay, and Verna, what do you want to do?
I mean, I think Ferna will follow along, but try to maintain more of a stealthier gait as like walking behind Rim.
Cool. Okay. Can you? So uh, you're going to specifically stealth as you go up here. So can
Yep.
you give me a stealth check +0?
Stealth check +0. You got it. Do I have any bonuses? I do not. Hooray. That's gonna be a an over failure of 4.
Got it. So you are going to move to here, and you can just hear like the clacks and stuff of your sound, or of your steps. However, you are in luck as you come around this corner. So one thing that you notice as soon as you enter around this corner, and by the way, Bryce is also going to follow uh, behind. The thing that you notice is this, first of all, hugely strange looking device that looks like some kind of arachnoid creature on a huge throne with a weird kaleidoscopic mirror behind them, spewing this sort of that ichor like substance into these barrels. But you notice two other things in here. You notice a cage with two Nictriu. We're just going to put them in here. A sort of a makeshift cage with two Nictriu in it. We'll just make them represent two of them. And two sleeping drunk Griswan. They did not hear you despite your failed stealth check.
Okay. This is
Wait.
where Molly the player and Rim the character come into great conflict because Molly the player is like, time to kill. Or sorry, Rim the player is time to kill. Molly the player is like, sneak in, sneak out, be done with it. And so you're gonna kind of see like the golden retriever look on in Rim's face as she looks back at Farina. Is like, can I get him? Can I get him? Can I pet that dog?
We should really try to just sneak out with these folks and not engage if we don't have to.
Okay.
Bryce
Fine.
also whispers up and says, they are scared of the light, and kind of looks over at the torches that you both have.
Oh yeah, we should probably put out the torches. Leave them in the thing, or just keep them with us.
We can run in, and if you're itching for a fight, Rim, use your torch as a a deterrent, but also we could maybe take them by surprise if we engage quickly.
Great. So, the cage, as I'm looking at it from a distance, what does it seem to be made out of?
It's made out of just whatever sort of scraps that the Griswan could find outside of the hollow. So it is very, very weak. Clearly the thing that is keeping the Nictriu inside is the fear of the monsters rather than the cage itself.
Cool. All right. So, uh, do we? Do you want to? She'll lean in and whisper, like breath blowing like directly into Farron's face. Do you wanna? Do you wanna like walk in quiet, or uh, you wanna just kind of walk in normal and like just say, "Hey, come on, let's go."
Why don't we walk in quiet and we each try to dispatch one of the creatures really quickly and then get them out of here?
Bryce, can these be dispatched quickly?
And he takes out his crossbow and goes, I believe so.
Great. Drunk. I don't know how I feel about killing drunk sleeping people.
I will admit, and he looks at you and goes, I am a monster hunter, but I do share your sympathies with this. We don't. It sounds like Remy unsealed this place. We don't need to go into their home and do killing necessarily. I do have some experiences with stealth if you need me to help in some way.
I just saw that it was a man holding a bow.
Mhm.
The icon. In my mind, it's been like a weird piece of sideways techno stuff, like an old spaceship. Like this has been like a control bit. I'm so
Nice.
sorry.
But
That's
it's
literally
okay.
I've been like, what is that? Like, what did she put on the screen? Um so yeah, okay. Let's just try to get in and get out and be real quiet. Um so sneak in,
Yeah,
try
let's
to
sneak
try to
in.
get the thing open and then get the heck out.
Sounds good.
Okay, both of you give me stealth plus 30, and Bryce is going to do the same as well.
So with my advantage, what does that mean?
That's why you're getting a plus 30, both of you.
Gotcha.
So
Stealth is physical. Oh no.
that'll be a success, one over success.
Okay.
That'll be a 4 over failure.
Oh my gosh,
Oh.
no. Okay, so I will show you what happens real quick. Bryce and Ferna make it to the cage. You do not get seen at all. You, on the other hand, start walking, and there is just a leftover puddle of the burned treacle, and you step in it, and it splashes some of the burned treacle onto this Griswan. I am going to each give you one thing that you want to do that may or may not stop combat from happening, or may just be giving yourself an advantage as combat is about to begin. What are you each doing?
Can I throw the torch on the treacle covered uh Grishman?
You absolutely can. You
Right, because
absolutely
it's
can.
covered in an oil. Oil is a
Uh-huh.
known a known flammable substance.
Yeah, and
Yes. Oh
mine
my
was.
gosh.
I love that. Mine was actually going to be dip my sword in it and then spark it with my torch.
You can do both of those things. Um so uh fair enough. You take this torch. I am going to have you give me a one-handed check plus 40 because you were just right in front of him.
Okay. A one-handed check plus 40. That's pretty good. That's target is 76. Oh
95.
no, no. That's a failure to over with a 99.
You
How?
throw
How?
you throw let me get a little bit of a marker here. Um, so you throw or you attempt to throw your torch at
Yeah.
this one. And it
You
is
rolled a
dark.
nat one.
Oh my god. And yet you try to throw your torch and end up lighting, fortunately, the Griswan on fire. You do. But you also start a fire that starts to kind of go towards the entrance a little bit. And this Griswan is definitely going to wake up. We are going to run things in combat time now, as there is now a kind of more of a spreading fire that is happening. You will notice at the top right of your character sheets, there is an initiative stat. You do not roll for initiative in this game, and instead is a stat that is derived from your speed. Um, Fairno, what is your initiative?
12.
And Rim, what is yours?
10.
Okay. Let me check our Griswan friends real quick. Do. They have a 14. The two Nictryu are basically just screaming for help. However, the first thing that you notice that this Griswan does on their turn is uh, immediately notice that there is a huge bright light in front of them, which is the fire, as well as their once fellow Griswan now literally lit aflame, and they run scared of the light and start burrowing a hole out. They might still be around, but they currently have just burrowed out of the place. That is all they're going to do on their turn. Bryce, or not Bryce, Farina, you're next.
So the other Griswan is still alive, but is currently like on fire.
And panicking. They are basically out of combat for all because they are scared of the light and on fire.
Okay. I mean, at that point, then Farron's gonna reprioritize and just try to break if able, break the two parents out of their cage.
Okay. Okay. Um, do you want to? How do you want to break them out? Like, what are you doing to break them out?
This seems like a very shoddy, like, or just cobbled together housing, right?
Hmm.
I just want to try to like rip it apart. I guess like go in and just like pull parts off where I can to like break it if it's not structurally sound.
Got it. Give me an engineering or unarmed plus 20.
An engineering or an unarmed. We'll do unarmed.
Cool.
That'll be a 57 target, and that is a hey, that's a 50. So
Hey, you
not
got
an
it.
over success, but still a success.
Hey, we're not overly successful here on All on the Table. We're just, just like a normal amount of success.
You get 8 XP in unarmed, and you just pull it. It's so easy to pull out. You get it.
Okay.
And the Nictryu are ready to run with you. With that, just because there would obviously be, if you fail to do that, we're going to kind of end combat time, as I assume you all are just booking it out of here, right?
Yeah, kind of trying to get like use my leg lock to get myself safely across, and
Mm-hmm.
then like trying to like run a rope across so that they all have an assist.
Perfect. So you're running back. Can you give me an augmentation check plus 30?
45, 75. Come on, mommy needs a new pair of shoes.
Hmm. Hmm.
That is an overfail by 10. By 1.
Okay.
Oh, I was about to be like, whoa, ho, ho.
Oh yeah, that would have been real bad. So you attempt to leg lock, but you are so focused on trying to reproduce what happened. First of all, you are going to take 2 physical stress, as the your like augment attempting to use this puts an immediate strain on your body, and you kind of buckle a little bit. Um, under the stress of that, and it causes you to basically just um, lunge forward, making the log unstable. Um, Verna, what do you want to do?
Um, can Verna try to hold the log on the other end to see if it'll stabilize it in any way for like at least the other folks to cross, since Rim has already started to move that way, but so they can cross a little bit easier.
Absolutely. Give me an athletics check plus 10.
With everything going on and my adrenaline peaking, I see something called an Iron Rage Mastery.
Mhm.
What do I do with that?
That will let you do extra damage in combat.
Gotcha. Okay.
What was the plus to my athletics? You said
10.
10.
10. That's an overfail by 1.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Okay. As you both as you both kind of stumble through these logs, clearly something terrible is happening. Bryce makes one desperate jump over and grabs both of you and goes, "Okay, clearly you two aren't used to being in here," and helps you through.
Would have loved the insight before, dog. Would have loved the insight before.
And you all leave the hollow. Bryce then immediately runs over to the seal and says, "Please, I need all of you. We need to reseal this."
Yep, absolutely. Quick question. You're Lucian's parents, right?
The other two look over and they go, uh, "Yes, is our boy okay?"
Yeah, he's fine. Your neighbor's kind of a piece of work, but that's fine. Um, uh, yeah. So, was there anyone else in there with you?
No, just us it, from what we know. Yeah.
Great. Are you going to be able to forget where this is and that it exists?
Why?
Just answer the question.
Can you give me a command check plus 20?
Hey,
Does
over
Molly
success
have the
1.
command range?
Okay. 6 XP in command. They go, yes, of course. We can forget about this place.
Sounds like a great thing to do. Help us move this seal that you don't remember moving. Um, and Rim will kind of latch the mechanical arm onto the thing.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Ferno will assist in and push it with the group.
Okay. Um, uh, Give me an athletics check or an engineering check, plus 20.
Uh,
Engineering check plus 20.
Athletics check plus 20. Don't mind if I do. Uh, that'll be a success with 2 over successes.
It's
Nice.
just a regular failure.
Got it. There is enough from both of you. By the way, you're going to take 6 in the skill that you used. There is enough uh, of a sort of effort from all of you to fully reseal this.
This
And
seal is brought to you by the members of the Crucible of Aether Patreon. Whoa,
we do not have a
Discord.
Patreon.
Discord. Make sure you check out the link in the chat.
Cool, cool. So you seal up the hollow. Lucian's parents are saved. What do you do?
So I think we need to have a talk with Riley,
Remy.
Riley,
Remy.
Remy about not going in there ever again,
I agree.
and we'll blame it. Who should we pin the crime on?
Well, I don't think we need to bring this up to Isra and give her any more reason to
That's true.
hate the populace of this island, as it
True.
seems that she does.
So, maybe we say that we found the gloves that. All right. So yeah, that's fine. Let's go on. Yeah, we're good. Let's go talk to Riley and make sure that they don't ever come back near this thing again.
I agree.
Okay.
Said
You
to Remy.
you return back to the dock and approach the your fishmonger friend who is closing up shop for the day. And he looks as you approach and he goes and he looks at you two and goes, "Well,
Well, what?
well, do you have it? I can give you more information if you have something that can, well, prove that I can trust you."
How about this? And then puts out my burnt finger.
He immediately gets nervous and goes, you were. I mean, I don't know anything about that.
Remy, can we see your left hand, please?
Why would you want to? Oh, oh, fine. Yeah, I was there too. What are you gonna do about it?
Well, potentially looking over to Rim, nothing. But did you purposely lead that family in there, or was that by accident?
Uh, look, it. I'll admit, I was in there to go look for artifacts to maybe smuggle them off of this island. But I didn't know what was going to happen if I left it open. I just it, it's just so heavy to move. I can't just open and close it whenever it. I didn't mean for anybody to get hurt. I just. Uh,
It
uh,
doesn't necessarily matter about intention, but folks did get hurt, and so maybe don't go poking around in places that are potentially dangerous, that you are not equipped to deal with. Even though I know times are tough for you right now, but maybe we can assist in other departments. Giving another look to Rim of just like, we could potentially help you. Uh,
mhm.
and maybe don't give uh, Isra potentially more reason to think that there are these hooligans running around causing a muck, as she seems to think there are.
Yes, yes, yes. Of course. Uh, I promise. What are you gonna tell her?
Well, looks. I don't think we've gone that far yet.
Well, do you need to know?
Do I need to know?
Can you forget everything you know so far?
I'm sure. I, I just want to make sure that it's not going to be them. Well, just don't tell her what I did. All right?
Uh, we won't. Will you never go in there again?
I promise. I promise.
Good on you. And do you have another one of these? And she holds up the weird lung, kind of like
He goes,
palms it.
Yeah, I do.
Can I have it?
Uh, yeah, I was gonna sell it. Uh,
How much?
it's well, it's 100 pent.
It's too much. Okay, never mind. Have a good rest of your day. Good luck.
Okay. And
Um,
mhm.
yeah. And then
I assume you go to Isra.
as far as the Isra line goes, on the way there, just kind of pulling Farina away from Bryce for a minute. Um, just gonna say, what? What do we even say? Should we just blame it on among like an animal? Just
I
be
was
like,
thinking the same thing because we can confirm that only a couple things were some tools and this oil was broken and stolen. We could pin it on, and we don't even have to go into detail, but uh, that uh, Bryce might have word of a flora or fauna that could be on the island that might do this, and it was just an animal break-in. I think that is the best course of action. And we could say
yeah,
we could found these gloves in the forest nearby. Seems to be one of the only things besides some tools and oil that was broken in the process of the break-in.
I love that.
She seems to
Um,
not investigate too deeply, so I don't think
she
she will question it.
I don't think she actually cares. All right, cool. So we will relay that to her.
And okay, with 2 minutes left before I know we wanted to have our end time, you do. She absolutely believes you. She gives you the money that you were deserved for this. You both unlock the cell sword career for having successfully uh, 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 been paid for this mercenary job. And that is where we will end the adventure in Crucible of Aether.
Woo!
Awesome. So hey, woo, we crucibled, we aethered, we jackied, we mollied, we treved. So
We lied to an authority figure, and that's okay.
it's
Hell
great
yes.
here on
Kids, it's
all on the
always good to lie to the rich and lie to cops.
yes. So uh Jackie, what was it like to run I don't know, your first streamed game of Crucible maybe? Question mark.
It was very, very good. I very much had a lot of fun. We cut a decent amount of corners for television purposes, but which is why I'm really excited for people to play test. We can do things a little slower. We can explore a little bit more of that hollow. We can, do things a little bit more by the book. But I would say, like any good tabletop game, with friends and some real creative minds, I think we had a wonderful time.
I know that I definitely had a wonderful time. I am like I'm a little sleepy baby right now. But I had a lot of fun engaging like when I first opened the book, there's a little sticker shock. Right? There was a little sticker shock. But then as I'm getting my hands into the thing and I started like as soon as the numbers stopped being a problem in my brain for whatever reason, it was like very clear and straightforward. I think that you as a GM, you really helped that along. And I found that the system to be really cool. Like and gosh, I love the augmentation system. What a cool thing to have a mechanical leg claw.
Aw.
New class fantasy unlocked for me.
Mhm.
Uh, and probably my favorite thing of the whole bit was definitely just being like seeing the way that you scaled the explanation of how things work, like seeing trying kind of like getting a feel for like what is a plus 10 explanation, what is a plus 20 explanation, what is a how might this work for me as a GM, like trying to set difficulties for things. And I really enjoyed that. That was really fun for me. Trev,
Yeah.
what was really enjoyable for you?
I think it's just for me. I really enjoyed kind of the explanation of like kind of where the stats work. I mean, I feel like in like systems like D&D and things like that, you have these very like broad, you want to do these very broad things that you have to try to distill down to one skill, when it doesn't always seem applicable, right? Or it's like, well, it kind of touches into that, but it kind of touches into this. So I liked, while it can be daunting, I do like these kind of breaking out of skills and how versatile really this skill tree can be. I'm much more interested in how the game kind of fluctuates as you get into what quote unquote higher level play. I feel like higher level play isn't as, it seems, at least initially from what all I've looked at in the rule book and everything like that, that it's like necessarily crucial, right? Like I feel like as you get into D&D, you get into this like skill cap where it's like, okay, you get into high level play and it's like
Bounded.
it is a completely different game, right, than when you're in low level play. But like this really feels like you said, you have that kind of breadth of growth where it's, you can do whatever you want and you kind of get what you get out of it based on what you're doing, in the world or in a given session, right? And I think that's very interesting, and opens a lot of possibility for, exploration, which plays really into the theming of that sandbox world that you're trying to curate with the text, right? So I think that that's very interesting, and I think there's a lot of possibility for narrative, but you also have a lot of, well, you have a lot of meaty mechanics in here, right? Like it's not just as simple as roll a die, see what happens. There's a lot of extra stuff in there that, allows players to do more things that they want to do, but also some versatility as the GM to kind of curate how things happen. So overall, I
Absolutely.
really enjoyed the experience.
And
And so like my favorite moment was probably um almost getting yeeted into the machinery.
Oh yeah,
Or honestly, or you throwing the torch into the punch bowl and creating a big problem for us. That
that
was
was
awesome.
yep.
that was a wonderful moment. And yeah, I'm excited to play test this with more folks and to be able to really dive into some of those more complex systems.
Wicked.
I do want to see. I would be interested because we didn't get really to touch on it very briefly, but a full like even just a round of combat where we're actually like trading blows with an opponent, right? I think that would be super excited to see how that fully plays out on, uh in practice. So I
Absolutely.
know we didn't get to touch on that too much in this stream, but it would be
Mhm.
exciting to see.
It's hard to, just you don't just walk up to someone while they're passed out drunk and
Totally.
you kill them.
Yeah.
It's just hard like that. So Jackie, with this playtest coming up, obviously make sure you're checking out. I've been spamming it in the chat. Make sure you check out the Crucible Discord. Maybe the new love of your life is in there. Maybe Crucible is actually the new love of your life, and it's everything you've ever needed. Um, maybe there is a cute alt girl with tattoos there that is going to be your new wife. Who knows? Anything is possible on the Crucible Discord. Also, the playtest for a wonderful game that we both, Trev and I, have really enjoyed playing. I wanted to give you a chance for last words and plugs, Jackie.
Okay. Well, like I said, join the Discord. We're going to be playing also once again Incident on Ilgriff, but just a little meatier version of it, one that really dives a little bit more into the systems and is a little bit slower pace. And I want y'all to come in, adventure with us, play with the systems, try to break things, and have a good time.
Cool. Any plugs?
I've been plugging the Discord. That's
All
why I'm
right,
here.
Discord. All right, Trev, what kind of plugs you got going on, Gorge?
Uh, you know, uh, just plugging that, join us next week, starting next week for, I'll be, I'm making my transition from player to, GM here on All on the Table. Come back next week
So let's
for
clap it up for someone going through transition. That's
hey,
tough, you know.
but I'll be here running some Wonder Home for some wonderful players, some returning players who, if you watched, Into Avernus stream, and some new players as well. And we're gonna have a good time. So that will be, Journeys into Haith next week, starting next week on Tuesdays.
Tuesdays, and what time is that going to start?
It's going to be 7:30. 7:30 we'll start, running about till 9:30, give or take. So
Going to be a lighter game for easier consumption.
yes, indeed.
Not my meaty 3-hour Tales of the Valiant streams where Max kills 85 cultists in one session.
I don't even want to. Max holds the record for most kills in that game, and no one can dispute it.
It's just hide and sneak attack. So I've been Molly. You can catch me third Saturdays on this network here, where I play Gorge. Oh, hey, how are you? With GM Lee, a wonderful game master, and we're sort of really accelerating the plot of that story. We're in a new corporate dystopia, so I'm very excited to spear things to death in my corporate dystopia. I also am the GM of the Concord Illuminati. Season episode 5 and episode 6 will be going up shortly. As always, you can check me out at mollyhitsdifferent.com. I am available for booking there. People who know me will know I am at I will be at frickin' Real Royalty in San Francisco the day after Valentine's Day. So to my partners, I love you so much. Thank you for being patient with me while my career takes me all over hell. And then I will also be at TTRPG in a Castle, which is another game theater production. And that'll be just the week after. So my life is going to be hell for the next little bit. And Concord will return to production and just after St. Patty's. So make sure you keep an eye out for the end of season 2, which we're finishing up now, and season 3 recording soon. So any final words
From
anybody?
me, I would just say thank you once again for the opportunity and showing off my game, all on the table rules, and just thank y'all.
We had so much fun. We're very excited for the first Crucible of Aether lives or actual play stream. We're very excited to have you on Tuesdays or Tuesdays or Thursdays, whenever you're ready to take that plunge or take that leap. I'm sure we would really love it. And it seems that the viewers have really enjoyed. And honestly, working with you for the past month, since we've
Aw.
been talking at Gen Con, it's been really a pleasure to I think that we all get siloed in our little spaces and our little regions, and it's nice to be exposed to people who don't share all of our silos,
Yeah,
who aren't
exactly.
who aren't deep in the third party 5e content world, that are actually doing original stuff. It's really cool.
Worlds collide and
Um,
mutual lift.
Heck yeah. All right. Thank you very much, lovely beans. We really appreciate you being here. Mwah.
All
See you
right.
later.
And
See ya.
we are